Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sega Spirit Show, episode number 5. It's your healthy dose of blue skies, blast processing, and a whole lot of retro-fueled enthusiasm. I'm Graham. I'm here with my good friend Scotty Mo, and today we've got something extra special lined up. We're celebrating the big blurs. Oh God, wow, that's terrible.
The Big Blur, he's here.
the the
Welcome back to
blue
Big Blur's Diner.
the Blue Blur's big day. It's Sonic's birthday. And so dust off your rings, rev up your spin dash, because
Big
we're
Blur.
blasting through the good, the bad, and the gloriously other Sonic games. From the 8-bit classics that defined a generation to early 3D misfires and all the way through modern open world thrills, nothing is off limits. We'll share our top picks, our biggest regrets, and a handful of wildcards that you probably forgot existed. So with that, Scotty, let's get on with the Sega Spirit Show! And ooh, yes, that's right. We're back, guys. Everyone, we're back. So Scotty, let's just kick it off. How you been doing? What have you been up to? Any pickups? Been playing anything cool? Tell us.
Yeah, let's zip through them. Oh, if we want to talk about playing, I didn't put it in there, but I have kept up with my Blue Stinger strategy guide
Ooh.
playthrough a little bit. And I'll just say that I've honestly been debating playing the Japanese version with the better camera angles
Oh,
because
it's got
they are
better.
horrible. It's different camera angles. The Japanese
Ooh.
version got released a little later. It launched with the American Dreamcast launch. I don't know. I don't know what the UK launch library was. Which is also a funny modern sort of topic that people say the Switch 2 launch was great and it was financially, but I'm like, it's weird that there are launch windows instead of a launch day.
Yeah.
Anyway, been playing Blue Stinger and not much to say about that right now. Just that the camera angles are just pretty bad in the US version. So I've honestly been thinking about just finally getting my GDMU up and running to start over with the Japanese version because Dreamcasts are region locked. So I would assume that my save file will not work with the Japanese version, but
Ooh,
whatever.
I'm not sure. I think in my head, I think they do work. Different save files. So,
VMUs are not region locked. So I know a VMU can be used on any console, I
yeah.
think.
I'm sure
Uh,
I've downloaded like a Japanese save file for something, but maybe maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. I could be completely
hmm.
wrong there. Sorry, just what's the difference about the camera angles? Like,
They're fixed camera angles in the Japanese version. They have
oh,
static camera angles like the first couple of Resident Evils, whereas
hmm,
in the US release in Blue Stinger, it like follows you, but
yeah.
it's bad when you like it'll suddenly be directly on top of the character and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
sometimes. So it's if you hit the left trigger, it's a first person view, so you can look around, but it has that fun, and by fun I mean horrible rubber banding thing where it like centers itself again. You have to like hold the thing. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
So no,
So I think the
I
UK
forgot to
one's
even
similar
add.
to America then. I think
Oh,
from
really?
memory, the PAL version is it follows you, which I didn't mind. I quite liked it, but okay, fair enough.
It just gets. I don't know how far you got in that game, but it just gets real bad when it's in closer corridors and stuff.
Okay,
So,
yeah,
um, like I couldn't find certain things, and it's and I really enjoy looking around that world. I really enjoy moving the camera and seeing this weird little Christmas town and stuff that they have. So, um, yeah, which is that game takes place on Christmas Eve. So there you go, Christmas game.
yes,
Yeah, no, but I'm doing that with the strategy guide, so it's fun to get through. But the guide has kind of not the best maps, so I actually found a map system online. Anyway, I mentioned this quick pickup that came in the mail yesterday, and it is the Knuckles. Sorry, Ken Pender's Knuckles Omnibus Volume One. It's a big boy, and it is all of the Knuckles stories that Ken Penders wrote for the Archie comics. It is a hardback. It's pretty thick, like I said. I don't want to talk too much about it because I am going to actually, I think, do a video review on it.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Because I've already noticed some things that are pretty interesting. And it has like, my favorite artist from the Archie days, Pat Spaziante or Spaz, they would call him. And Ken Penders, you can look up what the internet thinks about him. There's a lot. There's a lot. He took Archie to court about things. There's a lot. You guys had Sonic the comic. We got Archie,
Yeah.
and every liberty was taken on in both areas. But yeah, it's I always hesitate to say that this is the reason Knuckles is my favorite character because of the stories that Ken Penders wrote, because I don't know the guy personally, but there's just a lot of drama around him. So, but I had to pick this up. He released it himself. I don't know how. I really don't know how legally, because there is definitely just like artwork from the Archie comics in here and stuff. So,
Oh wow.
is that the oh no, I thought that was put the baby in the microwave page. Look that up too, folks. But yeah, it's big, and I'm gonna it's not this is a coffee table thing. This is not a read it before you go to sleep thing. But I'm excited to dig into that, and I've definitely already noticed some differences. So it's do you
Awesome.
know about Ken Penders at all, or is that
I
name
know
ring a bell?
absolutely nothing. The whole Sonic comics and Archie comic stuff completely not in my remit. Yeah,
That's okay.
I know they exist. I don't know anything about them. Yeah,
Did you read Sonic the comic over there though?
nope,
Oh
no,
wow, okay.
no.
Just never a
Literally,
comics guy really?
yeah, no. The only Sonic stuff I've really indulged in is mostly the video games. Like I've seen a couple of episodes of the Sonic Boom cartoon, animated cartoon they made.
Sure.
I know that there was some other cartoon stuff. I've never seen the original, the OVA thing you mentioned the other week, the
Mhm.
Sonic movie.
Right.
Never seen that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just mostly the video games that I'm aware.
That's cool.
My experiences of. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, that's okay though. I mean, you might find the video interesting then when I do it, or it might be just like, who cares? But we'll see, we'll see. So yeah, I did want to that was kind of a brief tease there. But also Sonic related, and I realize now I forgot to grab something else. Rachel and I went to a toy show last weekend, I think, and I grabbed this thing that was definitely more expensive last time we went in February. It was the toy show near that arcade that had Periscope, and so that leads into my next bit of whatever. But I grabbed this from one of the toy
ooh,
sellers. It is a weird little like that's clearly the cover of Sonic 2 on Game Gear, right?
yes,
Yeah. So it's
yes.
I don't even know how would do you want to try to describe what does this
Okay,
look like to you first, and then I'll tell you what it is because it's got a cable and stuff.
right. Okay, so to me, it looks like a kind of almost like a futuristic style retro TV, like something you might have seen in the Jetsons. It's like an old CRT TV, boxy TV screen with a Sonic the Hedgehog 2 sort of from the Game Gear cover with him on the hang glider, and you can kind of see Tails just below him. And it's blue and it's got some yellow knobby buttons, like knobs, that old school
Yeah,
TVs
like
used to
fake.
have. Yeah.
They don't do anything, yeah.
Okay. So that's what I think. Like an old school TV, but
Cool.
kind of futuristic almost, like something you would see, as I say, in the Jetsons or something.
So, yeah, because it's not completely square, it's not like, the sides are not even, it's not what's that?
Yeah.
Not perpendicular, I forget what a perfect shape is called that's, like, even on all sides and corners
Yeah.
or whatever, but,
It's kind of like rounded
um,
edges and stuff. And yeah, the,
yeah,
the
it
screen
has
looks
a
kind of off
cable.
center.
It has a cable to it with a, switch that you might use for a light.
Hmm.
So you guessed it, it's a bedside table, uh, projecting lamp. Uh
What?
Up top here is a lens, and this should be a TV antenna. And the cable you plug into the wall, and I could plug it in now, I guess. I didn't think this through at all. But so what it is, it's supposed to project an image onto the ceiling, and then you put it next to your bed. You put it next to your bed as a kid. All right, I did plug it in. And if I turn this on, you can see
Ooh.
that lights up and like
Yep.
there's a light in there. But
Yep.
there's not actually, I should have turned the lights off. It doesn't matter. The point I'm getting to, um, it didn't have a lens, or I mean, it didn't have a light bulb, so I had to go buy a light bulb for it. Like unscrewed the bottom here to put that in. But it doesn't project an image, which means it's missing the card little imagey thing that goes in
Ah.
there. So it's incomplete, which is fine. I'm just gonna say I paid $20 for it. It was definitely like $50 or something more last time we were there, so
Ooh,
I passed on it. Didn't look it up at all. I should have done a little bit of research, but they made these for like Power Rangers, and there might have been another kids series that did some sort of TV thing with it.
okay.
But I was trying to look it up and found like people were selling it in box complete for like anywhere from $100 to $200.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm,
this is a little busted. It's missing parts. $20 though.
yeah,
Whatever.
it's kind of
It
quirky,
still
kind of
looks
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how I'm gonna find the card that goes inside, and I tried to. There are screw holes in the back. I got the bottom two out. I couldn't get the top two out. They're either stripped or just wedged in there harder than they should be. Oh, this thing on the side here will focus the lens or
Ah,
focus
okay.
whatever it is, the projector. Basically, like it's basically an overhead projector for one image. Um, I don't know, Google what those are, kids. But anyway, the I had to get it though because I passed on it last time and he dropped the price significantly. And I guess I'm gonna try to find out how to get the cards that I would put in here, but like with the box and everything, it's $100. So I'm not gonna just
Mm,
rebuy it or anything like that. But it's a fun little thing that might look good on a shelf though, and I didn't break the bank to get it. Um, but that was pretty neat. Um, I
that's
forgot about
cool.
another thing I bought that turned out to be a boot disc for Dreamcast.
Ooh.
It said like I
Do you
should
want
have
to go
grabbed
grab
it.
it? Do you want to go grab it now, quickly?
I can go grab it real quick if you
Go
want
for
me
it.
to. It's just
Go for it.
downstairs. All right.
Yes. Run.
BRB.
The magic of the internet and editing. I will make Scotty appear.
I'm
Here we
back
go.
already.
There we
I'm
go.
back already. So I'll hold it
Ooh.
up while I'm putting my earbuds back in here.
Okay.
But
That's
yeah,
cool.
so it was just in an envelope, like in a crate of a bunch of other things at a different toy booth at the show. And gosh, you want to try
Okay.
to read what's on that?
Okay. So at the top, kind of in this like circling around, is www.pirateshirts.com, and then it says
Yes.
boot that DC's ass, and then DC Mag Volume Number One, Issue Number One, and it's kind of got the Dreamcast low, like Dreamcast swirl, but it's kind of slightly squared off by the looks of it, which is weird because it's on a CD,
Yeah,
which is round. I guess I couldn't
right.
use the real
So
logo.
seems like the most illegal thing possible.
Hmm.
So I was like, what do you know what this is? And the guy was like, I'm not really sure. It's just in the bucket with the other games. And I was like, all right, what do you want for it? And he said, $2. And I said, sure. And I was like, I'll report back and let you know. Um, so yeah, it's a Utopia boot disc. So you put it in your
Oh, okay.
Dreamcast um to use for like Bleamcast stuff or to just trick it that actually I could use this to play the Japanese version of Blue Stinger,
I was
right?
about to say, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that until right now.
yes.
So that's the lazy way to go because I won't set up my GDMU, I guess. But yeah, I put it in and it was like a weird, I can't remember what the image was. I actually
It's
filmed
a
a little thing on my
reindeer.
phone. Yes, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I used
I
to.
filmed it.
I used it quite a few times back in the day.
Okay. We did
Yeah.
use it once for the marathon, I think to play like a PS2 game on the Dreamcast or something, maybe Tekken 3, I forget.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, But yeah, for $2, whatever. It was cool to find a mystery thing. So
Hmm.
that was from that toy show.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I forgot that I could use that for Japanese stuff. And then yeah, that was some snags and what I've been
Yeah.
playing. But I'll just mention again, Rachel and I did hit up that arcade that had Periscope in it. Still not working, unfortunately. And I swear it wasn't because we were just talking about it. It just happened to fall into place on the calendar. But we played a bunch of other stuff there. Played a Bishi Bashi and found another Sega thing that was just called Combat, but really looked like the same machine almost as Periscope, but much
Oh, okay.
smaller. Um,
Ooh.
and I'd say the most fun we had next to Bishi Bashi, which is a crazy like Japanese mini game fest of like WarioWare kind of style stuff. We played Pac-Man air hockey, which is like each person has two paddles or two. I don't know what those things are called that you use to stop the pucks and hit them back and
Yeah.
forth. Do you have air hockey over there?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or do you know what
Yeah.
that is? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay. But this one has you have one puck, but you have two paddles, I'll call them, and then it randomly will drop like 20 smaller ones, and it's just chaos, and it's a lot of
It's
fun.
fun. I love air hockey's like my jam. I love air hockey.
It's a
So
good time.
yeah.
I feel like sometimes, depending on who I'm playing against, I should maybe wear eye protection besides just my glasses, but it's still pretty. Oh, the coolest thing they have there that I wish was brought to consoles by Sega is ambulance, or it's I don't even know what it is actually called, but it's basically Crazy Taxi, but you have an ambulance
Ooh.
and you're trying to get your patients to the hospital in time. And it has the most ridiculous intro cutscene of like this family of four in this insane car accident, and then their Dalmatian dog drags the child out of the car, and then they throw him into the back of an ambulance, and you're driving the ambulance like very slowly, and it has horrible updates of how the child's status is, like, you know, you have to use the paddles or something. It's yeah,
That
it's
sounds
pretty
really
good.
fun. That sounds really good.
It's fun. It's instead we get Crazy Taxi and 18-wheel trucker pro. Come on. I want to save children, not get the big delivery to wherever. Yeah. So that's me though.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I don't really have any huge updates. I'll just go through a few things. So I think last week I told you that I'd finished watching Star Trek Lower Decks,
Yep.
which is the cartoon, and I really enjoyed it. I also finished watching Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which I'd been watching. So that's like a lot longer, 7 seasons, and some of the seasons like 26 episodes long. Really good long seasons.
That's
And
back in the day.
I was gonna say, what a show! I think if I know Scotty, you said you're not really into Star Trek, but I think
No.
if anyone is into Star Trek, check out Deep Space Nine. The first season's a little slow in areas, but overall, I think it's a fantastic show, and the character development is amazing. Like where you see where people go, like start and go, and there's a bad guy in it called Gold Dukat, who is he's one of those. I think he's a brilliantly well written character because he's at the start he's just like this oppressive evil person who used to control his. Actually, it'll probably take way too long to explain because I have to go to the whole backstory of the show. But basically, there are times in the show where you actually sort of sympathize with him and empathize with him because you can sort of see things from his perspective, and he doesn't see himself as an evil person, but he's done a lot of evil things. And then, yeah, his whole progression through the show is really good. And all the main characters are actually really good, even some of the side characters as well. Anyway, great show. And I started rewatching another show, which I now forgotten what it was. Never mind. My mind's gone
Okay.
completely blank. That's not good. Anyway, cut that bit out. But yeah, no, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, brilliant.
I was gonna
And
say I think Deep Space Nine is the fan favorite, isn't it?
well, I think it's one of the fact, like the Next Generation, I think is also
Oh,
up there
next
as
gen.
well.
Yeah.
There's so Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Star Trek Voyager are set in the same time scale, like time era, if that makes sense.
Oh, good golly.
Although
Okay.
Voyager is the whole thing of Voyager is they are stranded in a whole other quadrant, so they're like millions of light years away from Federation space, and it's going to take years for them to return back home.
Hmm.
Even at light speed, they can't do it quickly, so they have to find ways to get back. But yeah, Deep Space
Fun.
Nine and Star Trek Next Generation are kind of in the same area, same time zone. A couple of crossovers here and there. Really good though, really good.
Nice.
Yeah. And aside from that gaming stuff, I started. So I mentioned I played KO the Kangaroo the other week,
Yeah. Right.
and I thought I want to try out some other 3D platformers on the Dreamcast. So I decided to start playing Donald Duck Going Quackers
Yeah.
because that's a game I'd never played before. So I thought, I'll give this a try. And
I'm familiar. Vaguely.
yeah,
I haven't played it, but
I've played like the first two levels, and I was like, I don't think this is for me. It's not a bad game for what it is, but at the same time, I think, meh. It's so far, it's not that engaging. Maybe I'll keep trying to play it. I don't know. And aside from that, not Dreamcast or Sega related, I started replaying Star Wars Jedi Survivor on my PC. So if anyone watches the show, they'll know that I recently got a new gaming PC because my old one was starting to get
right.
very slow and old and stuff. And Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I've played on Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X, and I love it. I think it's a great game. It's actually, if you like Star Wars games, you like Jedi games, play it. It's a really good game. It's got a really good storyline as well. To the point that Kate watched me. Kate doesn't really like video games much, but she was watching me play it, and she was like, "Is this based on one of the movies? Why haven't we watched this before?" I'm like, "Oh no, this is just a game on its own." But she was like, the story is brilliant. She thought the story
Huh.
was excellent. The way it's told and stuff, and the cutscenes were really good. But the gameplay's brilliant as well. But yeah, anyway, I got it on my PC, set the graphic settings up to as high as possible, and it feels like I feel like I'm playing a completely different game. Like, it looks good
Mm-hmm.
on the Xbox. It looks phenomenal on PC. Like, so
Oh,
good.
sure.
Yeah, so I might be joining the PC Master Race, which is awkward because I've always been a console gamer, but yeah, I kind
Yeah.
of get it now. But it's
Yeah.
the problem with Jedi Survivor is it's been plagued with bugs and stuff. EA have been very bad at patching it, so
Hmm.
random bugs keep surfacing for people, and the game did crash at one point, which is a bit annoying. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's me. That's me basically. So nothing more to do. So
So, can
that's
I ask
oh
about
yeah.
Donald Duck though?
Yes, please do.
I was trying to see if it's something I would ever want to get. Price charting has the American version for 45 complete, but I guess the PAL version is called Donald Duck Quack Attack. Um,
Oh yeah, they've just got a
from
different name.
what I'm
Yeah.
seeing here. Is that
Yes.
correct? Because you
Yes.
kept calling it Going Quackers.
Yeah. In my head, I've
That's
always
fine.
thought of that as I don't. Yeah, I've always got to go in Quackers because I think because I'm so used to
Huh.
looking up American names of stuff.
I mean, if you've got the full thing, it's apparently 69 noise dollars roughly.
Oh.
Looks like SEX has it cheaper
Ooh.
there from what you're seeing, but
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know,
It. Uh.
platformers are only going to go up. I mean, not that
So
that
yeah,
generation isn't already.
mint condition it's £50, £45 just box with manual, and without manual £38. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
That's
So
that,
just
that's number
yeah,
one.
it's hopped up and down. Hmm. Anyway, you got a pricey thing, so hold on to it, I guess, even if it sucks.
Yeah,
Or that means sell it when if you might need to, because who cares?
yeah, yeah. Good point. Well, yeah, no, probably won't. No, I like to hold on to my Sega stuff.
Yeah,
As a kid, I got rid of a load of my Mega Drive games, which I really regret because I was like, oh yeah, I can just trade this in and get money to get another game. But there's quite a few games I got rid of, and I'm like, why would I ever do that? Like
yep,
I had
yep.
to go back and rebuy a load of them. Anyway,
Welp.
Scotty, with that, let's move into our next thing, which is the Sega Shuffle. Yes, so if you don't know what the Sega Shuffle is, every episode I challenge Scotty's brain and his Sega knowledge. So I give him 1 minute to try and guess the name of the game that I'm trying to describe. Or it's not always a game, it can be a character, it can be a prolific Sega personality,
Sega thing,
a Sega
basically.
thing. Yes, so I try to explain what it is without saying the words, any of the words that are in that name. So Sonic the Hedgehog, I can't use the word hedgehog to describe what Sonic the Hedgehog is. So it's a bit of a challenge for me, but it's also a challenge for Scotty. So Scotty, how you doing? How you feeling? Are you up for this?
I feel good. I think last round tripped me up a little bit, but we'll see
Yes.
what happens.
Yeah, so the last time you got 4, I
Only
believe.
4, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4. But previously you got 6, so you can do it. So
I can do it.
you ready, buddy?
I'm ready.
Cool. Here we go. Okay. Uh, a character goes fishing in Sonic Adventure.
Big the cat.
Yes. News. Futuristic news, dancing.
Base Channel 5.
Yes. Sega characters brawling each other.
Just brawling each other. Is it a game?
Yes. You can say
Sega
pass.
character. Sonic Fighters Mega Mix.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Arcade racing game.
Daytona. Sega Rally.
Yes. Dreamcast game where you control the company that we're talking about right now, and it's kind of tongue in cheek. Yes. And oh good god. The time just went out. I couldn't think how to explain the next one. Okay.
All right. Do you want to say it or?
Yeah,
keep
I
it
can.
For next time or what?
Actually, no, let's keep it for next time because I didn't mention anything in it, did I? So, but yeah,
really,
you did 5 this week. You
All
got
right.
5. So yeah, you got Big the Cat, Space Channel 5, Fighters Mega Mix, Sega A Championship, and Sega Gaga. Okay, excellent, Scotty. And with that, let's go into our community news. That's it, we're back. So, as always, we like to cover bits of Sega community news that have been cropping up, and there's always some great stuff going on in the community, and it's the same this week. So let's kick it off quickly. So we've got just kind of a quick update. So last time we actually mentioned about Mario Kart as being ported to the Dreamcast by JNMARTIN, who did Wipeout and Doom 64, and it's coming along really nicely. So just within like a few weeks and stuff, this is 1 week in after they sort of showed the first, I guess, video footage of it. It's coming along brilliantly. It's from what I'm hearing, what I'm reading about. Basically, everything is there. Most of the graphical glitches have completely gone. There's the only thing that's missing right now is the audio. So there's actually no sound at all. So I don't know if they're actually going to try and put in the original audio, because I don't know. Actually, I was about to say copyright reasons, but I mean the way they're doing it right now, it's a bit awkward. But yeah, so there's very minimal graphical glitches, and just to give you a quick example, this is what it looked like just a few weeks ago at the start of June. Oh, that is loud music. There we go. So yeah, you can see the graphical difference. It's all glitchy on the screen, pretty,
no text or
ropey
numbers,
and stuff.
really. It's just blargled nonsense.
So yeah, just like three weeks later, roughly at the time of showing this, it's looking a lot better than it was. So yeah, it's looking beautiful. I'm very excited to try and get my hands on it. It's not available to download at the moment, and only a few different video channels and people have actually got their hands on it. So very looking forward to see if it gets released at all or not, and I'd love to play it, basically. Yeah.
We shall see. I don't have much to say because, it's there it is.
Cool. So, Scotty, do you want to take the next one then?
Oh, yeah. We all know we wanted it. We all know everybody asked for it. That's right. Sonic Mania is being ported to the Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I have seen Sonic Mania being physically sold for Dreamcast somehow, and I don't think any of that's legal, but I don't know what it is exactly. I never looked into it too far into it anyway, like repros or whatever. But this is actually Sonic Mania Plus, mentioned every week. Falco on Twitter again. How do we say his last name? Girgis?
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But he's been sorry. Discord just disappeared on me, so that's pretty cool. But you can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Awesome. There's our window. Golly. Sorry. Anyway, on Twitter, I'll read what Falco said here a little bit. In about time, we brought the blue burler back home to a Sega console, presenting Sonic Mania Plus, running on an actual physical Sega Dreamcast. No audio yet. The 3D effects and stages have yet to be hooked up. Developer Sonic Freak 94 has done an incredible job getting this title ported over so far. Some serious voodoo to get this thing running fitting into the 16 megabytes of RAM, and even had to push against VRAM limitations. I'm not sure what that means, but and with texture paletting being used due to there just being so many sprites loaded at once. What you will notice, he says about the video, is that it's running at a perfect 60 frames per second, with the Dreamcast barely even trying at all for the majority of the game. Due to his work implementing a custom HW accelerated rendering backend that directly uses low poly PVR driver in Callisti OS rather than SW renderer used by most ports of the game. While he's still got a long way to go, it's incredible how playable the game already is and just how darn good at home. Wait, what? Just how good and at home it feels on the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah. I mean, I guess this is the game we always wanted on the Dreamcast, or even the Saturn, back in the day. We
Yeah.
never got it. So yeah, it's looking good, looking brilliant. And my understanding is this, I don't know if it was this game or another one that had been being worked on maybe even like a couple of years ago, like in 2023, I think I heard about it, but I don't think much progress was made on it, or maybe it's the same thing and they've just managed to get really far suddenly. Because I know there's been a whole thing about Callisto S, like the development of that has suddenly just launched loads of these homebrews and ports being able to be made because of the work that's been done on that. So maybe that's what's happened. Really good though, really awesome. Any other thoughts on that?
I mean, I found the first thing that popped up when I just typed Sonic Mania Dreamcast was a post on the Dreamcast talk forums that Sonic Freak 94 ported Sonic Mania to Dreamcast and updated it back on May 25th, 2023.
Okay.
So I guess major work's been done.
Yes, I think
Um,
that must be it. Yeah, because this is actually yeah June 17th, 2025. This is when Falco posted this, and he's pretty much on top of all this stuff. So kind of
mhm.
kind of trusting this is new development there. But awesome,
Yeah,
cool. And next up,
cool to see another one. Speaking of Dreamcast,
yeah, Dreamcast and Mega Drive and Neo Geo and MS DOS as well. A new game is being launched by RetroSumus, who are the team behind Xenocider. If you don't know about that, that's another great Dreamcast game. It's an indie game. This one's called Soviet Borgs, and this is the trailer. It's it's from what we know, it's meant to be set in a parody world where the USSR won the Cold War, and it's top-down shooter style game, I guess. And it's looking pretty good. There's actually some gameplay footage. Some people have actually got their hands on the launch demo, which I think you can actually download now. Actually, if you so this is actually on IndieGoGo. It's an IndieGoGo campaign. If you do back the project, you do get access to the demo.
hmm
And I actually backed it the other day. They sent me a link for the demo. I have not played it yet, though. Unfortunately, just literally haven't had the time. But yeah, it's interesting they're releasing on the MS DOS version because they showed it on the screen.
yeah,
There's quite a lot of discs there,
like
but
eight
it's
floppies or something.
yeah. What are you thinking about it so far, Scotty? Like, what does it look like? Oh, this is a bit of Xenocider that's showing off here in this video. Which
Yeah, top down. Like a Xeno Crisis or even Zombies Ate My Neighbors that we looked at last time. Something like that. But it has kind of that smooth, almost pre-rendered 3D
yes,
kind of graphics, like Vector Man or Donkey Kong Country, or things like that, or like Sonic 3D Blast.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it is interesting that they're releasing it on all those consoles. I backed the IndieGoGo for the Dreamcast version today.
Oh, good. Yes, I tagged the Dreamcast one as well.
Fair warning to those in the US, shipping was $23.
I mean, yeah, I went
Yeah,
for the PAL version, which is limited, and that's
that's
expensive.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was kind of. I was like, I like the PAL boxes more than the American ones. I'm sorry, I just think they look better on the shelf.
Agree to
Um,
disagree.
okay, fair enough.
Um, but I don't know why your version was caught like double the price. I don't know, but
I think it's because the boxes are hard. They have to make the boxes, whereas yours is just basically a
oh,
CD
sure,
case. Yeah, I think that's the
that
only reason
makes
I can
sense.
think of. Yeah,
I saw
but
that the Genesis version, the early bird of the Genesis Mega Drive box sold out. Oh, does it use the twin stick? I was
I
actually wondering
believe
about that.
yes, I believe it does. Yeah. Um,
'Cause I streamed Xenocider using the twin stick, and it was my brain didn't understand. So that makes sense that they're doing that
does it
again.
actually say
Um,
on? Doesn't say on the
I'd do a
FAQ.
good old Control F if I were you.
Yeah,
Type
yeah.
in
That's
twin.
weird. Nope, not
Wouldn't
on that
surprise me if it
screen.
does.
FAQ. Still coming
I
up.
mean, wasn't that the video, or was that a YouTube person's video, or was that their
Oh,
Indiegogo video?
this is a YouTube person's video.
Oh, okay, then that's just probably them maybe wishing for it also.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that looks cool. I
Yeah,
backed
it's,
it. Support indie. I don't know how
mm,
Indiegogo works compared to Kickstarter. If it like progresses with or without full funding. I forget what the let's see what the funding's at right now. But okay, let's see. It is refreshing the page. 13,788 US dollars out of the 56. So they're like 24% there on from what I'm seeing.
yes. Yeah, so yeah, that's
But
what
it's
I'm
got
seeing as well.
56 days left.
Yes, we've got quite a bit of time left. But yeah, if you can, back it because I'd love to see more stuff. And Retro Summit does do really good stuff. Xenocider is an excellent
Mm-hmm.
game. I actually did back on Megavisions, I did a full stream of it and I actually completed it. I loved it. It's tough as nails at the start, but once you get used to it, it's such a good game. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
Soviet Borgs. I think it's gonna be it'll be good. I
I
hope.
did a weird unboxing of the game that didn't make sense, but the creator RetroSumus reached out and said, I don't understand this. but it's great, thank you. And I was like, that's fine. It's not supposed to make sense. But they've like continually reached out to me as this game's been in production, like saying, like, check out this trailer and
Oh,
stuff. So
fantastic.
I can speak firsthand that the dev is cool.
Hmm, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, good shout out to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the next one.
CopperStorm. I don't know if there's much to say because this hasn't
Not really.
actually launched yet. I guess it's a shmup for SNES, Neo Geo, Mega Drive, but the Kickstarter's not live yet. Um, steampunk shoot 'em up that's coming to all those things I just said. And like you have here, the creators of Demons and Asterbog and Asterbros. Quote, a high octane shmup inspired by Thunderforce 4. Oh God, what is wrong with me? Thunderforce 4 Metal Slug on real retro hardware.
Yeah. So yeah,
So I don't think it doesn't say when it launches, does it on there?
no, it doesn't
Like it kicks
annoyingly.
off?
It's just really annoying. But yeah,
Okay.
so this has been launching soon for about a week or so. And it's by Neofid Technology, and we actually spoke about them in the previous episode. There was that Mega Drive game that you actually at first when you looked at the footage, you're like, I don't think this would run on like a Genesis or Mega Drive, and it's like this is exactly what they're doing because
Yeah.
the guy in the video was showing it off. And yeah, so I'm just excited. I just wanted to give a shout out to them, just sort of make people aware of this. There's another game coming for the Mega Drive and Genesis, basically. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and Scotty, do you want to do the next one as well? Ever since that was quite a short one.
Sure. A Final Fantasy game's coming to Mega Drive and Genesis. From
Woo!
Time Extension here, it is one that might have a cult following. I don't know. Final Fantasy. You tell me, fans. It's Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. So that's oh, okay, you got it. It's an unofficial port of the RPG Mystic Quest, reading from Time Extension here, also known as Mystic Quest Legend in Europe, and but over here where I am, it was Final Fantasy Mystic. Wait, what? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Final Fantasy game. Anyway, Mystic Quest, as it is, was a spin-off that Square developed back on the SNES, sorry, in the early 90s. It was supposed to introduce more North American players to the RPG genre, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah, I don't know. But reviews in EGM or Electronic Games went on to fail in its mission, apparently. Did not get that great of reviews, but I'm sure it still has a crazy fan base. But let's see here. Someone tweeted about it saying, Nico Mega Drive tweeted, I'm done with the Hill of Destiny map events and will be finally be able to move on to Forestia. That was a lot of work, and there are still stuff needing to be improved, fixed, but here you go. And then the video that you're playing now is what they were talking about. But they're going to keep on working on it, fixing bugs, making a playable ROM,
Mhm.
um, and then I guess newly arranged music for it as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
So I don't have a dog in any fight of Final Fantasy stuff, but more ports are always interesting to keep an eye on. What do you have a dog in any of those races?
Oh, I categorically do not like the Final Fantasy series, to be honest. Um,
Okay,
so I played a few of them. I can't say I played them all. The ones I have played, I just couldn't get into them, man.
sorry.
I played some
Yeah.
on the Game Boy. I think I played one of the Super Nintendo ones, and obviously played Final Fantasy VII. I did not understand the hype. That was the first one I actually played, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. And I went back and played
Yeah.
some of the Game Boy stuff, and I was just like it's fine. I've never really been into that turn-based RPG style thing, and I
Sure.
know the more modern ones aren't that anymore. My understanding is they've gone to more. Is it real-time combat they've gone into now? I think.
Some of them are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean I haven't really played the since God was it? I think I played Final Fantasy 11 on the Xbox 360, which was that was an MMO. I think it was 11.
Yes.
Yes,
Was that the one on PS2?
it might be on
I don't
PS2 as
remember.
well, but it's on Xbox. One of them was on Xbox 360 as well, and it was an MMO. I think it might be on PS2 as well, and that was fine. You know, I wasn't really into MMOs at the time. Didn't really have it. To be honest, no one else I knew had the game, so I was playing with random people as well, and didn't get very far
Yeah,
in
we're not claiming to be pros on this, everybody.
it.
But I'll throw a wrench into your works, though, Graham.
Go for
Panzer
it.
Dragoon Saga's turn-based.
Oh, is it though? Is it actually turn based? It's not. It's time based.
Yes, because you take
No,
turns attacking.
you don't. It's time
Oh my
based
god.
because you can take multiple attacks if your time engaged thing is correct, and you can defeat an enemy before they even strike you. It's not technically turn based, and it's more action packed because you're actually moving around real time on the screen. Whereas these old Final Fantasy games, you'd literally stand there, you'd go through a menu, select attack or whatever, then you wait for your character to sort of not even move forward on some of them. They should go. You did an attack, and I say
Yeah,
this for
that's what
even
Fantasy Star used to do too.
yeah, and I wasn't really a big fan of Fantasy Star either. I just didn't really like turn based
Yeah.
games. Like
Yeah.
I went back and played Fantasy Star when it was released on Switch and made it a lot easier.
Yes,
And
that is the ideal way to play.
yeah,
Holy
and
moly.
it was a lot better doing that. I mean, I'm fine. I've probably got more patience now than I did, so I probably could go back and play some of the Final Fantasy games. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I'm defending myself so much. I like it's just my opinion.
Because I said PD Saga and that was all you
Oh
needed.
yeah, that's true. Like,
Um
triggered, man. No.
yeah, no, I notoriously don't play or haven't played many JRPGs. I didn't understand the hype, but and even though I was into PlayStation stuff, I jumped into Parasite Eve, which
Oh
came out
yeah.
after FF7. But yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga. The only thing I really sunk my teeth into JRPG wise back in the PlayStation One oh my god, days was Legend of Legaia, and that had a
Oh,
really interesting battle system. But yeah, so I don't know why
yeah.
we brought this up in the news, but it's a Final Fantasy game coming to Mega Drive.
I still think it's interesting because that was something that never on any Sega system was there a Final Fantasy game. So it was always Nintendo, then it moved
Right,
to PlayStation, then
right.
it became Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. But Sega missed out. Sega missed out on
Yeah, and
the love,
Sony.
the Final Fantasy. Yeah, but yeah. Oh,
Yep, yep. But
one turn-based game I did enjoy, Skies of Arcadia. I love that game.
oh, sure. Well, that makes
That's
sense. It's made by people that made Panzer Dragoon Saga. So,
yeah.
yeah,
There's
I
something
do
about that story.
remember probably the last time I tried to play a Final Fantasy game was FF13, and I fell asleep multiple times trying to play it.
Wow.
But
Okay.
that was because I stupidly would try to play it after a shift at GameStop. So it'd be like 10 o'clock at night. It's like let's sit down with a game that people have reported having a 20-hour tutorial. No thanks.
Yes, that really put me off it. Like some of the Final
Sure.
Fantasy stuff. Yeah, yeah. Which one? There was one of the Final Fantasies that were released, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the opening bit is like 2 hours long. And you're just walking forward or something for ages." And they're like, "This is amazing." I'm like, "That sounds terrible. That sounds like the worst intro to a
Yeah,
game I've ever heard of." But I
I
never
don't know.
played it, so I
Different
can't really judge
strokes.
it. Yeah. Anyway, that's the community news. Lots of great stuff happening. Just a
Yeah.
couple of campaigns. Well, there's one. Check out the IndieGoGo for Soviet Borgs. Keep an eye out for Kickstarter for CopperStorm, and yeah, we'll keep you updated on any progress on that stuff.
Keep your Dreamcast plugged in, folks, because it's not slowing down.
Ooh, yeah. And with that, let's get to our main feature. So, yes, as we said at the start of the show, it is Sonic's birthday. Well, it was recently in Europe and America, and coming up in the next few weeks, it will be Sonic's birthday in Japan. Fantastic. If you don't know, Sonic was originally released on June the 21st, 1991. It was actually, I didn't realize this. For some reason, I always thought Japan was first, but it
Hmm.
was actually the PAL regions that were first. June the 21st, 1991, PAL regions had Sonic the Hedgehog on the Mega Drive. Then in North America on June the 23rd, so only a couple of days later, it came to the Genesis in North American territories. And then, wow, nearly a month later, July the 26th, 1991, it came out in Japan. I don't know why, I just assumed it was in Japan, but never really looked into that, to be honest. And to celebrate, I've actually picked up this. I should have shown this actually at the start. I picked up this lovely little t shirt. Actually, one second, I'm going to change the screen. There we go. It might be a little bit better. Yeah.
You can't tilt your camera down at all for a second or anything?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, my new Sonic T-shirt. It's kind of like a
Like a graffiti
graffiti
sort of
style
splatter? I don't even
paint
know.
splatter. Yeah, that's kind of what it's meant to
It's
vaguely
got the
be.
trio on there, Sonic,
Oh
Tails, and Knuckles.
yes, yeah, that's right. And yeah,
And what am
so
I wearing? I've got
what
my
it?
scalp on. Big
Yep.
ol' I got this as a pre-order with Sonic Colors. And I think you could eventually buy them, but dude, no joke. This has to be one of the best pre-order items ever, because this should be more than $5. That was always the minimum at GameStop. Put $5 down to pre-order something. You got this with Sonic Colors on the Wii.
Yeah, just for anyone who might be listening to the show rather than watching it, Scotty is wearing an awesome Sonic the Hedgehog hat, I guess you could call it. And
I always
it's
call it a scalp.
yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of Sonic
Yeah,
scalp. He's got this like the spikes, the ears that Sonic would
and
have
it's
on his
got
head, and it's looking pretty cool. It's got
how many?
six in total. By the looks of it, one on the top, then five others at the back. Yeah,
Okay, cool. And
so
then
it's,
two ears,
yeah, and two
and it
ears.
actually has like his eyeball.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
even know his
The V
brow that
almost,
goes
the
down to
brow.
that V
Yeah,
shape.
yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
Sonic Widow's peak. So, and it's strapped and it's chafing like mad on my beard.
Oh
So worth
yes.
it.
Oh yeah.
And I just wore a blue shirt because I mean I've got frickin' Sonic and Knuckles tattooed on myself. So that's kind of why I don't have a lot of Sonic shirts, is I feel like it's weird to have a shirt of something you have tattooed on yourself. That's, to each their own though.
Yeah.
But and if we didn't see behind me, it's every episode. I've got the giant Dreamcast
Yeah.
pre-order standee.
It's amazing. I love
So
that. Very jealous of that. So that's good. Oh yeah, and
one of my
just
favorite things I own.
in the background for
What have you got
me,
laid out there though, Graham? Yeah.
I've got several say Sonic themed t-shirts. I've got the yellow one at the top there, which is like digital Sonic. I've got this kind of funky. It's a blue t-shirt with like it's got a Sonic outline, but it's kind of multiple colors, so
Oh,
it kind of looks fun, like a bit wavy.
is that from Air Riders or whatever?
Yeah, it's from Sonic
Oh my
Riders.
gosh. Wow.
There's like a Japanese style one in red, and then I've actually got an old Summer of Sonic
Oh,
t-shirt
I'm
back there.
jealous.
But
I've never
it's
made it to that.
yeah, so I went to a few of them. I nearly went to all of them. I think there was one or two I missed out on, unfortunately. Oh, and just below, actually, I got this big. Whoa, I can't point properly. Yeah, that is what are they called? It's like a blanket that you wear. I can't remember what.
And
I
we
can't
call them
remember what
throw
they're called.
blankets.
Yeah,
Oh, the Snuggies?
yeah, like
Those
a
things?
snuggie. I think we
The
call them.
sleeves? Yeah.
Yeah, we call them slankets. I think over here.
That's a
I've
bad.
heard.
That is so close to being. That sounds like a slur. This freaking slanket rolled in to the bar last night. Did you see him?
But yeah, that's the Sonic the Hedgehog one. I got that at Christmas as a Christmas present from my brother and nephews. So
Nice.
yeah, very exciting. But yeah, so we're all about Sonic today because it's his birthday around this time, and yeah, so to celebrate, we're not gonna. So like with Sega's thing the other week, we went through their whole history. We're not going to do that this week. I'm not going to go into the release date of Sonic and see is this real or
No.
not.
Play Sonic
um,
Jam for that.
oh yes, but instead, what we're going to do is we're going to look at our personal, most loved and hated Sonic games and some stuff in the middle. So it's something I used to do on Sega Nerds briefly and also on Megavisions. I'm going to look at the good, the bad, and the other one. So we're going to go through the list. We might not cover them all in detail, but we're just going to talk about some of our favorite through the different eras, through different console eras of Sonic the Hedgehog. We're going to be looking at some of them. And yeah, so Blue Blur fans, let's rock on to Special Ring and warp right into it. Are you ready, Scotty? Let's do this.
Let's do it to it.
Oh, yes. And I just bring up my screen. Sorry. Let's, no, that's Mario Kart. Pause. Right, let's go down.
Oh Lord.
Oh dear. Yep. So professional. Here we go. Right. So, Scotty, let's kick it off.
Yeah, we got the 8-bit era here with Master System / Game Gear. My good pick was Sonic 1 on the Game Gear. Great soundtrack, and a
Yeah.
totally different game from the first Sonic on um, the home consoles. And your good pick was?
My good pick. So yeah, I would have gone with Sonic 1 as well, but I also really love Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Game Gear. This is actually my first Sonic that I actually owned. And
Right.
it's hard as balls. A lot of people don't like this game,
Yep.
but I actually completed it. I've heard people saying this is an impossible Sonic
Wow.
game. I beat it when I was like 9 years old, so it's not impossible. It just takes a lot of practice. It's very tough, but I think it's a really fun game. I love some of the levels, especially some of the later levels are really good. But
I think
yeah.
it's one of those things where the field of vision needed to be a little bigger in some
Mm,
parts. But the funniest thing, we won't spend this much time on each one, but I was just reminded that a funny joke I saw in a Discord was instead of giving out because whenever you go to any retro shop, if there's a Game Gear section, it is filled with just a bucket of Sonic 2s, just a copy, a bunch of those cartridges. And a funny thing I saw was like on Halloween, the true gamers, they don't have if you have on Halloween a take one, like a honor system take one candy from the bucket, just put a bucket of Sonic 2 cartridges out there for Game Gear. And that's going to be what we do for Halloween.
Wow.
I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty good.
I also
The
just say, oh, so I was going
Yeah.
to say very quickly that they just in the video we just had in the background, they showed the very first boss battle, which is probably the hardest boss battle of a Sonic game I've ever had. It's really tough, especially if
Hmm.
you don't know, you're kind
Do
of
you
on a
not have rings at
slant.
all?
You have no ring. So yeah, in Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, the first two acts are like normal levels. The third act is a mini level with a boss battle at the end, and there's no rings. So you can die on the way to the boss very easily, and then the boss battle you've got no rings, and that's why it's tough. And in this particular battle,
Gosh.
you're on a slope, so Sonic can be tricky to hold. You have to position him just right so
Yeah.
he doesn't keep rolling down the hill. There's a thing at the
S-
bottom that tries to attack you.
The
Robotnik's
Sarlacc
throwing
pit.
balls at you, which are really hard to avoid. And and then he charges at you when he runs out of balls, and it's tough. And then the second level is just as tough. It's brilliant. it's a hard
Wow.
yeah. Um, so
That's
yeah,
our good. For the bad, I actually picked Sonic 2 because I've just never really gotten that far in it, and I enjoyed all the other most of the other 8-bit Sonic games really. So like the where they got crazy with Sonic Chaos. I even we'll get into the other here, but yeah, I just wasn't a fan of Sonic 2. Maybe if I give it a decent try now, I'd think differently, but I don't know. Yours,
yeah,
Graham?
fair enough. So my bad is Sonic Blast, and if you don't know
Woof.
about this one, it was a later release for the Game Gear. They tried to do that, as we still mentioned earlier. I can't remember what the term is, but what they did in like Donkey Kong Country and some other games and Sonic 3D,
Like
that
pre-rendered 3D.
yeah, the pre-rendered 3D visuals, the game runs slow. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
like I know some classic Sonic games are a bit slower than modern ones because you have to build up speed, but this is just a slow game. It's Sonic does not look well animated. Oh, they're showing a bit of Sonic 3D here, sorry, in the video. But yeah, I didn't get very far in the game, but I've tried to play it multiple times. You can play as different characters. You can play as Knuckles as well. I just don't think it's a good game. It's a bad Sonic game. It's
I
just
was
not
trying
fun.
to see when the last Game Gear game was released because I thought this was one of them, but I don't think it was, believe
Oh,
it or
it's
not.
not. I thought it
This is
was
in
one of them.
'96.
That sounds pretty
Um,
late for the Game Gear.
yeah,
Yeah,
it definitely is. But apparently, in a quick look up, someone says the Lost World Jurassic Park is the last one.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it sure is. It's August. That was in 1997, only in North
Ooh,
America. Wowie.
wow. I mean, that's like is that like 1 year before? That's 1 year before the Dreamcast came out in Japan, yeah. And
Yep, sure is. Saturn had been out for 3 whole years
yeah,
or
and the Game Gear
ish.
is still
Um,
going strong. Nice.
yeah, the one thing I'll say about Sonic Blast, I didn't mind it, but the thing is though, as the last Sonic game on the Game Gear, you would think that's usually like one of the strongest. Like Ristar is one of the strongest Genesis games, Mega
Mm,
Drive games, and it was way at the end of of that era. But this is just not like they didn't improve on anything. The
no,
sprites are too big. It's just weird looking. Yeah.
yeah, they
I think
yeah
the only Dreamcast, or sorry, the only Game Gear game you can play as Knuckles, besides unless you count Sonic Drift, right?
yeah. As a three sorry as a platformer, this is the only one. Yeah, you can play as Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Um,
So yeah, you're
boy howdy.
oh yeah,
And then for the other, I picked
yeah,
Sonic Drift 2 because I had fun with that game. It was
yeah.
for some reason we didn't get the first one. I think only Japan got the first Sonic
Mm,
Drift, but it was a kart racing game on the Game Gear, and I enjoyed it. It's easy though. It's not that the later levels get challenging, but the roster is pretty cool since you've got Metal Sonic, when he was known as Knack the Weasel, Amy, Robotnik, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. But I enjoyed it.
mm.
But it's worth mentioning it because I maybe that was just the thing. I enjoyed racing games like Road Rash and this on my Game Gear primarily. Did you
Yeah.
ever play it at all?
I did. I think I played it on an emulator though. I had the opportunity to buy it, and I ended up getting a different Game Gear game at the time, so I didn't get this
That's
one.
okay.
I wish I kind of did because it's one of those games I've always kind of wanted to play because it seems pretty fun.
I
From
think
mem,
it's on the collections that were released on like
yeah,
GameCube and PS2. Because I
yeah,
remember Corey and I streamed once. I think we played this two player because you can play a two player on those
oh yeah.
collections. That's the
Oh,
only
that's pretty
time I
cool.
ever played a two player. I never had a link cable or anything for Game Gear.
Are there weapons in this, or is it just racing basically?
You have like a spring. I think you have invincibility and maybe a boost. I don't know that
Okay,
you have.
but you
There
can't
might be
like.
some sort of like torpedo type cannon. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it wasn't really. It
Unless you
wasn't
just lay spike traps. I can't remember.
because from memory, it wasn't a proper combat style karter like Mario Kart or Street Racer. It was more racing from
Yeah.
memory, but I've only played it briefly, as I say. But yeah, it's a pretty
Mm-hmm.
good game. Good choice. And for
It's
me,
decent. For
oh,
your others,
so for my others, I've actually just gone with one. I'm going with Sonic Chaos. My other one pick, I
sure.
was going to choose Sonic Labyrinth, but I actually decided Sonic Chaos. Whoa, this is not Sonic Chaos. They're showing a different game. So yeah, if you don't know, Sonic Chaos was after Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Game Gear, and I think it was on the Master System as well. And it's a pretty
Oh,
good
was
game.
it?
I think
Hmm.
so. Okay, actually, I don't know. I have to double check that. Well, I owned it on the Game Gear,
I'll check
and,
it while you talk about it.
and you can play as Sonic and Tails basically in the game, and it was pretty fun
Oh,
because
you're right. It was on Master System.
oh,
Hmm.
good. I'm not going crazy. And
Wow.
it's just a continuation of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Basically, they did improve in some areas. There's a few new abilities they added to the game, like the spin dashes and stuff, which wasn't in Sonic 2 on the Game Gear. And I think they had you could press up and you can do like a quick burst. Like wasn't the spin dashes like a quick running forward or something?
Yeah, it was almost the equivalent of the figure eight super peel out from Sonic CD.
Yes, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Oh, they're showing a different game now.
They're going all over. No,
Yeah.
I loved how, I mean, this is just, we've preached it before. Another example of them just trying whatever they want to on
Mm.
Game Gear with like the rocket shoes or whatever you had and the
Yes, that was it. Yeah, yeah, different. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so you could pick up like
mhm.
rocket shoes, which are basically shoes that made you fly effectively, but they're really
Yeah.
quick. And yeah, generally the levels were decent design. And oh, there's the rocket shoes. They're showing them now. Yeah, so Sonic's flying through
There you
the air
go.
on these rocket shoes. I love the way he bobs
That's
back and
pretty
forth as well.
that's goofy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fun game.
Yeah. Okay. So it was on GameCube, the Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. You have it unlockable in there, and also Mega Collection Plus. So it's on. For some reason, they put a bunch of Game Gear games on the different collections they released of Sonic games. But yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
and
So
then that bumps us into the 16-bit era.
yeah,
Take it away, sir.
so yeah, I guess for my good pick, you could choose so many different ones. I've always loved Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and 3 and Knuckles and everything, but my pick for good is Sonic the Hedgehog. I think it's a classic. I love it. I think the music is fantastic. I know other games did improve in certain areas, but there's something beautiful about the original game and how it kind of changed a lot of gaming for a lot of people. And yeah, not much more to say on
It
that.
did.
Yeah.
No, it's Sonic 1. My mom even loves Sonic 1. Her favorite level, at least her favorite level's music from as much as I played it was shoot, Star
Oh,
oh
Starlight
crap.
Zone.
Yeah, Starlight
Yeah,
Zone.
brilliant. Yeah, love it.
Hmm.
That weirdly, that was the music I hated when I first played it, and then over the years, I'm just like,
Huh.
that's beautiful music. I don't know why I didn't like it at the time,
I
but
don't know.
yeah, it's so good. And for you,
And my
sir,
favorite,
oh,
Sonic 3, baby. I got a giant what are these called? 3D printed cartridge just
oh,
because somebody was doing it.
hold it up to the screen
And
again.
a
There we go. Hold on, hold it up again.
big
There.
old Sonic
Yeah, that is
3.
huge. Wow, that is like
It's the
bigger than
size
your
of my
head.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have a cartridge right next to me because I'm an idiot to show how. Oh, wait, here's a 32X cartridge, but you get the idea.
that is huge. Yeah,
Um, yeah, it looks funny on a shelf, so I got it for that reason. But
that is
no,
pretty
it's
cool.
my not only is it my favorite Genesis game, it's my favorite game of all time. I
Yep.
love the multiplayer soundtrack. The I was listening to that earlier today when reviewing our outline. All the two-player stuff. Sonic 3 standalone, to be clear. I do like that with Knuckles combined, but Sonic 3 on its own is just a nice, short, awesome package. That's what she said that has cool multiplayer music and the soundtrack that we'll never hear fully again in a modern release, I guess. But that's my choice for that one though.
Fantastic. So the bad games for the 16-bit Genesis Mega Drive sort of era. Um, yeah, I don't like Sonic Spinball. You don't know what it is. I can understand. I can
Mm,
appreciate some people would like this game, but I think for me, I've never really enjoyed it because I'm never really a huge fan of pinball games. And when this came out, I
no.
was like, "Oh, a new Sonic game," and it's not really a Sonic game. So I'll just skip forward to some gameplay. There you go. So yeah, I
Package with
guess.
the console over here. I don't know if it was for you.
Oh, I mean, well,
Yeah,
it might have been at some point. I mean, back here, I know they had Altered Beast was the original package, then Sonic was a later
yeah.
package. I don't remember Sonic Spinball being packaged, but it could have been. It could have been at some point. But yeah, I
It's the
never got
only
into it.
game. It's the only game to feature characters from the Archie comics,
Oh, so
which are in the bonus levels.
maybe I should play it then.
No,
I've never
that's
really
not a
got
reason
into
to play this game.
it.
It is challenging. It is an interesting spin on pinball.
Oh, and for you, Scotty, what is your least favorite?
I picked Sonic 3D Blast because the Genesis version is just rough. Uh, but when we get into the Saturn version, that is one of my favorite soundtracks. But the Genesis version is just not like the soundtrack's not good. It's the bonus levels are a joke. They're so easy. You collect rings like two at a time. And I just once I played the Saturn version, I was like, man, it's not night and day, but there are significant differences between the two versions. But it's not
Yeah.
my favorite during this era.
And so moving on to the other games we think we might like to look at. Mine is Sonic 3D.
Yeah, that's all it was called over there. We got
Yeah.
3D Blast over here. I
So
don't know why
it's
we're
actually
getting
called
blasted.
Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, which
Oh, right.
in my brain I'd forgotten that. I've always called it Sonic 3D Blast on the Mega Drive and Sonic 3D for the Saturn, but they're both called. Actually, have I got? Oh, I don't have a Saturn one next to me. Damn it. Oh,
That
yes, I
cover
do.
is
Yes, I
rough.
do. So they've got.
Oh, no.
Oh no, sorry. If I change my screen as well, actually. Here we go. So yeah, here we go. They're both called Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, and they're both very basic covers, but yeah,
Did you get that for $8? Was that what that said on the Saturn?
yeah, it's £7.99,
Oh,
baby.
man.
And
Wow.
I think I paid full price for the Mega Drive one, which is like 40 quid back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That cover is the pinnacle example of why you shouldn't see Sonic dead on his face. Not that the North American one's much better. He's got like weird noodle arms. Um, so you didn't like it though at
oh
all?
no, I do like it. No,
Or
I
no, I'm
actually
sorry. This is your other. This is your
yeah, it's
other.
my other. No, I enjoy it. I think it's a really good game. I know it's not 3D, so the you know the name of the
Right.
game is
It's
a
not.
bit, but and yes, the bonus levels are a joke, but I still enjoyed them as a kid. I thought it's a fun game. I just enjoyed the level
I
design
think.
as well. I don't know what it was. I thought it was a different game. It's not my favorite Sonic game
Mhm.
by any means. I think it's fun though. I think it's a fun game to play.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just not. I don't know. It was a weird. That Sonic Blast and Sonic 3D Blast were weird Sonic send-offs for that
Mm,
era for those
yeah,
consoles that they
they
were
were.
on. But my other, I had so many because Sonic was everywhere at this stop. This part from Sonic Popcorn Shop to the Waku Waku Sonic Patrol car. But one I want to mention, of course, is Sonic. It's not even called Sonic. It's Wacky Worlds Creativity Studio, and
Ooh,
it's got Sonic painting Echo, I guess, on the cover. And Tails is just flying around some music notes. There's a big old piano going around. It says
mm,
on there, create animated worlds, compose cool music, includes mouse controller. And
mm.
that is one reason I wanted to bring it up because
Ooh,
I have the um, Mega Drive Genesis mouse that for some reason has like a tinier button.
got
Hold that up real
three.
close so you can
Whoa,
see.
it's got like three normal click buttons and then the tiny button as
Mhm.
well. What?
Good old trackball. But yeah,
Fantastic,
and then it just plugs into the Genesis. I've
fantastic.
literally only used it. I wish that I owned Theme Park to see if it works with that on
Oh, that
Genesis, but I've only used it on this game. Um, and it really is their attempt at fighting, not fighting, but their attempt going against,
Mario Paint.
Mario Paint. Gee,
Yeah.
many Christmas. Thank you. Um, and they try to make it sound so cool. It is crazy that it included the mouse, but you can kind of see. I don't know if you have a video playing of it, but you can kind of see like what you do in it. You just paste stickers on things and kind of create music, sort of, and you can do a storybook thing. And I don't even
Yeah.
know what that bottom right corner is. Personalize your creations, automatically saves, trade with friends, even create video greeting cartridges. Oh man, there's a freaking pun on the back. Video greeting cartridges. Recommended for kids 6 to 11. Yeah.
Nice.
I got this at like a random garage sale or something, I think.
Oh man, I don't know anything about that other than I mentioned them previously a YouTube channel called Console Wars, and they look at
Mhm.
Genesis versus Super Nintendo games, and they compared that, and there's another drawing studio thing on the Genesis to Mario Paint,
Oh,
basically.
is
And
that Art Alive, the most 90s cover
yes,
ever?
yes, it
Yeah.
was Art Alive. That's the one. Yeah. And yeah, Sega did not win the battle, unfortunately. Between
No,
the,
no,
yeah, it was. It's interesting though. From what I saw, they seemed like interesting concepts, but to be honest, I don't think any of those games, even Mario Paint, needed to be released back then. There's almost no point to it
no.
on
They
those
got to
sort
do
of
it now on the
consoles.
Switch too. Everybody's clamoring for it now. And then I'll briefly mention just because it was on my list, Sonic Pocket Adventure on the Neo
Ooh,
Geo Pocket Color. Um,
nice.
Stupid expensive now, unfortunately, but the Neo Geo. I
Uh,
instead of going the GBA route, I did the Neo Geo Pocket Color, and I'll play the let you enjoy the clicky stick. Is that coming through on the mic at all?
it is not your noise
Awesome. Of
cancelling
course
is
not. Maybe if I talk while I do it, it will. That's not going to happen
kind
either. I
of
don't know.
very faintly. It's really hard to pick up.
All right. Well, look up how the clicky stick goes. But yeah, it's kind of like a best of Sonic 1 and 2, but handheld. It's good. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of wish the Neo Geo Pocket did better because they seem to be pretty decent back in the day.
Yeah, there's good games on it, and the sound chip is really good. Like even the little what's it? What would you call it? Like home screen. I don't know because it has a lithium
Oh,
battery. So like the home screen, like on a Dreamcast, where the controller's dancing around and
yeah,
stuff. That little, even the background music on that is really solid.
nice. Yeah,
Uh,
I never
that
owned one, but
is
I played a bit. Anyway,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, everything on them is expensive, unfortunately. But that was the 16-bit era,
Ooh,
and I am the next era, 32-bit Saturn slash 32X. Um, Sonic Jam. I did a whole blog post on it, but that is definitely my favorite in this era because it is an amazing collection. I will still die on the hill that this is the best Sonic collection that's been released. Um, and the Sonic world is so much fun. It's a 3D interactive thing that's kind of like a teaser of Sonic in 3D. One of the earlier first times running
mm,
around to check out like the timeline, his history, videos of like intros and outros of games, different commercials, and other publicity or promotional things. Um, yeah, and it's got Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles on it. And I think it's the last time in a collection that Sonic 3 had its original soundtrack, if I'm not mistaken.
ooh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you played much Sonic Jam?
Oh, I loved Sonic Jam back in the day. Me and my friends, we would actually we would play the bonus level that's being shown right now over and over
Hmm.
again
Blue
using
Sphere.
Sonic Jam. Yeah, the blue sphere. Um, yeah, I loved it as you sort of mentioned about like the going around the 3D world and it like being like a museum, an interactive museum
Yeah.
basically. That blew my mind. I thought the 3D was great. Just playing the main games as well was obviously brilliant. But the cinema, just going to the cinema and like checking out some of like the adverts and trailers and the Sonic
Yeah.
CD intro, that kind of blew my mind. I was like, "Wow, this is amazing!" And there,
Yeah. Seeing it in decent resolution and stuff.
did you remember they had a video footage of Sonic, like a 3D Sonic game? It wasn't actually a game, but it's like a representation of Sonic if you were in his, like seeing from his vision, if that makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah. His point of
Like
view.
a
Yeah.
first person Sonic
Oh,
game, and that kind of blew my mind. I was like, "Whoa, is this going to be a thing? Is this happening?"
right. And I forgot there is a weird claymation commercial in there, and Rachel,
Oh,
my wife, made a statue of the funky, weird claymation Sonic that's scary. Oh God, it's got a cobweb on it. How horrible! Or is that my? Yeah. Anyway, he looks weird. It's nightmare fuel. but
It's
we
brilliant.
love
I love
him
it.
just the
Yeah,
same.
that is cool. I love it. And
So 5 PM is solid.
this is also my good pick as well for this era. I just the brilliant,
Yeah,
yeah, so good.
I probably need to buy it on Japanese and whatever other console it was on. Um, that's our good one. Let's shift on down to our bad one. You know him, you love him. Knuckles Chaotix for me. It's
Um,
not a good game. It's an ambitious game. Oh, I should go over to my notes. Um, it's the Sonic Crackers game that never was. If you know, you know, right? Look it up. But Sonic used to be on the title screen in place of Mighty the Armadillo. Um, this was the only Sonic themed platformer on the 32X. And it was more of a vertical Sonic game than horizontal.
okay.
Uh, yeah, the it's honestly more difficult in two-player, even though it's considered a co-op game or it has co-op anyway. The bonus levels are kind of cool because they're in a 3D sort of world, and this is also now what I consider the Lost Chaotix team because since Sonic Heroes, they're detectives now, and it's SBO, Charmy, and Vector is the leader, and it never made sense to me. But that's what they did in Sonic Heroes.
So, okay, here's the thing. I have never played Knuckles Chaotix, and
That's okay.
I've never even watched footage of it. This is the first time I'm actually really watching footage of
Oh,
it.
okay.
So, from it looks like you're kind of connected together. Like Knuckles is connected to another
Yes, I didn't
character.
even explain that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Um, you have oh gosh, it's probably got a name, but they're connected. They each hold a ring, and there's a tether that is connecting those two rings. So it's like a rubber band physics kind of thing, rubber bandy sort of thing,
yeah.
where you can use it to like if somebody eases back or somebody stands still and the other person like starts running, then you let go and you can jettison yourself, so to speak. But
Okay,
um, otherwise, it's cumbersome as all get out. It's just not cool. And they wanted to do this with Sonic and Tails first in a game called Sonic Crackers that you can find and probably play in some state now online. But it had the main Chaotix cast and then also Heavy and Bomb, which were two rogue robots from Robotnik's army or whatever.
okay.
But
And
yeah, and you would collect the super rings. I can't even remember what they're called. But at the end, you fight a crazy big metal Sonic that's like not Metal Sonic Overlord, but massive like screen engulfing thing. But
oh
there's one of the
wow,
bonus levels though that were pretty cool, I
yeah,
thought.
that's look cool. Actually, the bonus looks really good. It's like three.
Yeah, the
How much?
bonus levels look decent. They're actually in 3D,
Yeah. Wow.
as far as I
Okay.
know anyway.
Yeah, this
So
looks like an interesting game, but yeah, I can also see that it looks like it could be very awkward to play and
yeah,
probably
yeah.
not the best. But
It's
man,
weird. I'm glad it exists. I'm glad I own it. But yeah, it's just not the best platformer in the Sonic world.
yeah, I think it's hard to get hold of, isn't it? Like in the UK at least, it's
It's
never
pricey.
seen it.
Yeah.
Don't even yeah. The cool. Sorry, just the word "cool" came up on the screen. It had like five
Oh
O's, like
yeah.
cool.
Cool. Yeah, let's
Nice.
see here. US price, asking price completes $320. Dang, the PAL version complete 585
Yeah.
pounds, I guess, or dollars or whatever. Japanese 400. Yeah, that's all of them there. It only was called Chaotix in Japan, actually. It was called
Okay.
Knuckles Chaotix in our parts of the woods.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Um, I don't really have a bad pick for this. I gave a joke of Sonic Extreme, but that's because it never really
Okay.
released. I know there had been some sort of fan versions of Sonic Extreme made based on the footage that's been was
Yeah.
shown at E3, and I did play one of them years ago, and it was actually okay. But I didn't really. To be
Just
fair,
that fisheye lens was going to make people vomit.
yeah, I think probably not the best game, but from what I played, it was okay. But that wasn't the official version; that was the fan representation of it. But yeah,
Right.
I don't. To be fair, all the Sonic games I played on the 32 era on the Saturn 32X, I thought were good. I didn't really have a problem with any of them. So with that,
Hmm.
let's move on to the other section for this.
Yeah, buddy. All right.
What is this? What is this thing we're looking
Stop me
at?
if you've heard this one. Sonic Schoolhouse. I have it on PC. It is edutainment, baby. It's a special blend of nightmare fuel disguised as edutainment. Um, but for whatever reason, I had no. I actually let me back up. I had a demo, and I have to show you this.
Ooh.
Please read this, Graham. I found this at my mom's
Are
house.
you prepared for a challenge? Hot selling Sega PC games with a whole family at savings of up to 45%. Here is the sampler you ordered from Hershey, the
Yeah, the
chocolate bar.
chocolate company. Yeah, so if you open this up, it's got first a post-it note that I wrote on like from that was sitting next to my family computer in some sort of weird bunny rabbit shape for the second player controls for Sonic Schoolhouse. But here's the lovely chocolate brown CD for the demos. Uh,
Well, you got Sonic and Knuckles, Garfield, Sonic
mhm.
CD, and Sonic Schoolhouse. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, all of them. And then there's an order form in here if you do want to get them. Oh, that has if you open it up here, it lists all the Sega PC games. I love
Ooh.
stuff like this these old order forms.
Ooh,
But it's got what is in there? Sonic CD. For some
Ooh,
reason it
Sega
calls Virtual
Rally.
Cop Virtua Squad.
Oh, never
Is
heard
that
that
like
before.
um I don't know if it includes both of them or whatever, but yeah, Sega Rally, Sonic and Knuckles, Garfield, and then Sonic Schoolhouse, and then you can order away for it. And on the back there's nothing, so I decided to draw a computer and just write Sega on the monitor.
That's a beautiful,
Because I was a
beautiful.
pretty cool kid. And I guess I had this thing. I was so happy when I found this in my mom's house. But Sonic Schoolhouse was there was a demo on there, and it's a first person view where you're running around a school and Sonic's like talking to you and stuff. You can put in your name and the video we're watching showed how much it crashed. You got the blue screen of death, but you
Yeah.
pick a character that's like a weird animal or not a weird animal, weird looking animal because they're all like claymation nightmares. Um, but you are in this sort of white bricked, gray checkered floor, right? White brick wall school house. I don't know. And Sonic's rolling around like a damn fool. And you have to pick
Ooh.
if you want to do like math or spelling or let's see, what does it say on here? The first educational title to play like a game because it's first person and you move around with horrible controls. Um, Sonic Schoolhouse is fun learning. I'm reading the
Wait,
back of the
is
box
that
now.
no? Sorry, on the screen
Sorry.
it says, "Is this hell?" Is that actually part of the game, or is that someone who used
No,
it
that's
for
his
that?
name he put in.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
you go through an existential crisis in the game. No, it says on here, Sonic Schoolhouse is
Oh, we
fun
crashed.
learning. There you go. Kids will sharpen reading, spelling, and math skills in this 3D Sonic Schoolhouse. The game's 4 different classrooms contain grade-based problems and a fun-filled race for knowledge. Sonic Schoolhouse offers kids a chance to practice their educational skills with their favorite characters, Sonic the Hedgehog, TM, and his nemesis, Dr. Robotnik, TM, trademark. See you in school. Thank you, Orion
This
Interactive.
I can imagine. Weirdly, imagine this being like a ROM hack for Doom or something, not an
Yeah,
actually
that's what it looks
officially
like.
released game.
Um, I
Has
really wanted to stream this.
robotics thing that he's writing has got teeth? But
Yeah,
his
because he steals your answers. You walk up to like a
oh
blackboard and place your answers in there, and if
okay.
Robotnik rolls up to you, he steals your answers, so you have to come up with other
So
ones.
he's
Or
like cheating. He's like the kid in the back of class cheating.
yeah, pretty much that's what he does. That's how he got through school.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's a beautiful
yeah, I
thing,
really
obviously.
wanted to play this and like stream it, but I couldn't find an adequate way to do so. Sonic's voice is definitely not Sonic's voice. Uh, it's a magical nightmare that I recommend to anyone looking up.
Oh, I'm interested.
Yeah,
That's brilliant. Okay, so for my next one is so my other, as it were, is Sonic R. You know I know some people hate Sonic R. They think it's not a very good game. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun racing game.
I love it.
It's got a learning curve. The controls are not the easiest as such,
Yes,
but once you get into it, it's weird because it's only got a few tracks in it, and only a few characters.
5.
Yeah, 5 tracks, but there's a lot to find on each track. So you
Hmm.
can the way to unlock other tracks and stuff and new characters. There's a lot to it, and I just thought it was a fun game. I wish there was more to it, like maybe a
Yeah,
sequel. Would have been good to see it on like on a future like on the Dreamcast or even like more modern systems. A version of this, I think it'd be good, but and also maybe if they had weapons, it's not really a kart racing game. Robotnik
Robotnik's
had a
got
weapon.
one.
Yeah, Robotnik's got a
And
weapon.
I think Egg Robo does as well.
Hmm, but Yeah. But once you pick it up,
Birthplace of Tales doll. Thanks.
yeah.
I love this game and always have. I've always just yelled at the heavens of how good the soundtrack is. The
Yeah,
soundtrack is
brilliant.
decent, whether or not
Yeah,
you like the game, like
yeah,
Europop, techno-y kind of stuff. TJ
fantastic. Yeah,
Davis, amazing vocals on it. I
yeah,
have her signature on this little Sonic standee. Um,
fantastic.
I guess if there's
I
any time to bring it up, it'll be now. So
all
there
right.
you
So
go.
I'm going to show you on a big screen. There we go, big screen. That's
So I got
awesome.
this little guy here, little standee, and in the top of it, TJ Davis just says, "Love TJ Davis."
I met her at the
Oh yeah, where'd you meet her?
very first summer of Sonic. They had T.J.
Nice.
Davis, Bentley Jones, and Richard Jack. Um,
Oh yeah, he wrote the
or
soundtrack to
Jakes.
that in
It's
Sonic
either
3D
Jax or
Blast.
Jakes. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but and he used to be from the town that I live in now, which is a
Oh
small world.
wow,
But I don't think he
there you
lives here
go.
anymore. Um, but no, it was really good meeting all of them, and they actually performed all three together. Performed they performed "Can You Feel the Sunshine" and some other songs from Sonic games. But yeah, seeing them
Cool.
perform that was a really good experience. There is a video online
Yeah,
somewhere from back in the Sega Nerds days, not on YouTube because YouTube at the time didn't do videos longer than 10 minutes. But it's that
right.
thing's on Veo, whatever they called it. That thing is
Video or
probably
something.
it's probably gone somewhere. You know, it's not. It doesn't exist anymore. Probably. Maybe if I can find it, I'll add it to our YouTube channel. But yeah,
It's good though.
yeah, good game.
That yeah, I met her at Magfest this past January,
Ooh,
and got that signed. And since our good friend Corey is an awesome person, he stood in line with my copy of Sonic R, and that's back on the shelf. But the manual of that is signed also.
fantastic.
I didn't get
Awesome.
to actually see her perform anywhere, even though she
Ooh,
performed like 3 times. Another video for another day. I did another video on that actually. But yeah, Sonic R, great soundtrack,
yeah.
rough game, 4 player on the GameCube and PC version.
Ooh.
So Godspeed finding 3 other tolerant people to play that with. But yeah,
Um.
but this
There's
one,
yeah.
one of my favorite things in video games. Go for it, Graham.
Oh, just yeah. Sonic Into Dreams, which is the bonus Sonic, I guess, event for for the bonus. Sorry, 1 second.
Unlockable and unlockable.
Unlockable in Nights into Dreams Christmas Edition. That is a dodgy printout thing I've got there.
Oh,
One
okay.
second. Hold on. Yeah,
I
I
like the
printed
themed
that.
red jewel case.
So I picked up this red jewel case from somewhere. I printed out that. This is back from like 1990 something, and
Hmm.
but I've got the proper disc, so it's an official game I've got there. Just
Right
um,
on.
because I think it came free with over here. It came free with one of the Saturn magazines, I think, from memory.
Yeah,
Um,
we had it at Blockbuster Video, which is where I got mine. It's up on my shelf. I've done a lot of stuff related to it, but Rachel actually made me a Christmas Night's Nutcracker
ooh.
also.
Rachel,
Um,
your wife makes such cool stuff.
yeah,
Gives you all the
she
best
should
stuff.
start selling it. Um, but no, I have it on. I got it at Blockbuster for $5 one day, and then I also have the Japanese version now. One of my favorite things. I play it every year as a tradition.
Yeah, it's just a fun way to play Knights, really. And Knights is a great game, obviously, but yeah, I wish I just kind of wish they made this and Sonic Jam sort of showed there was potential for a 3D Sonic. It's just kind of annoying we didn't
Right.
get a proper full game, but oh well, yeah. C'est la
But
vie.
there's a fan doing a remake of it that's
Ooh,
putting
there
it
is,
has it
yeah,
in like either Unreal Engine. I forget what it is that they're actually
yeah,
putting it through. They only really post on Twitter, X, whatever, unfortunately, but they're doing amazing work. It looks so stellar.
yeah. I didn't have the link. I didn't have that up for some reason, but
That's
yeah, I
okay.
did see that. That looked really cool.
And then we
Yeah,
go into the proper 3D Sonic,
proper
kicking
3D.
off an
Yes,
era.
here we go. So I mean, I feel like it doesn't need to be said, but yeah, Sonic Adventure. That's my good. I Sonic Adventure,
I got the
brilliant,
soundtrack.
so good. Oh,
It's
is
one of
that
the first things I
signed?
imported. Signed by Jun Sonoy and the band that performed it in Magfest, and Johnny Jewelli as
Oh,
well.
brilliant.
So this is one of my favorite things, but it's a very cool. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh well, there's my copy of Sonic CD because where else would I put it? I guess, but a 2 disc thing, and then a
It's really
cool
cool.
little fold out. Uh,
Ooh,
Doodad to show all the tracks on one side and Sonic on the other, DJing and stuff. But
that is pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I, I
one of my
actually
favorite soundtracks.
I forgot. I kind of wanted to make you jealous earlier, and I completely forgot to do this. So Sonic
Do it.
Jam, I also have that signed by
Oh,
by
rad.
Yuji Naka and Takeshi Iizuki,
Whoa.
which was
Holy
also
crap.
another
All
summer
right.
of Sonic.
You win.
Um,
Holy crap.
but I'm an idiot because what happened is I actually got them to sign the I guess the sleeve, the artwork, the cover as it were, and
Hmm.
I did not realize this, but basically when you slide it back in, over time the pen actually sticks to the plastic, and
Hmm.
so I can never take that out basically because it will just ruin
That's fine.
ruin the signatures. But I've got a friend who gets autographs signed a lot, and he's on posters and things. He's like, you basically can't do that. You have to like have them like on plastic, a different type of plastic or something that stop or glass that stops it sticking. But yeah,
Hmm.
so there you go.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was so happy I got that done. I got to meet them both at the same
Yeah.
time, and yeah, it was really
Wow.
good. Really good
What's
experience.
it like talking to a criminal? No, I'm just kidding. Keep
Yes.
going.
Let's skip over that. Oh, it's white collar stuff, wasn't it? He did. That's barely anything.
Yes, of course.
I don't
Sonic
know.
Adventure.
Sonic Adventure. Anyway, yeah. Before that bad stuff happened, Sonic Adventure, great game, one of my favorites. I think the story's brilliant. I love all the characters, even Big the Cat. I think it's a great game, and yeah, just everything about it.
It represents the Dreamcast better than any game in my opinion.
Mm,
This is launch day on the Dreamcast is Sonic Adventure. You had
yes.
the hub world to run around in. It used the VMU better than probably any game at launch with the Chow Tamagotchi virtual pet like mini game,
Yeah.
raising those little creatures, and it did have online compatibility. It was just a site to look at like at first just a site to look at like announcements on your Dreamcast through the internet, the power of the internet. But then you could also download Christmas themes to throw a Christmas tree in the middle of Station Square. There was like a New Year's Eve Millennium year 2000 celebration thing. There was
Yeah.
other stuff you could download, so it really was the best. Sonic Adventure is the Dreamcast launch, in my opinion.
Do you want me to ruin something slightly with what you just said?
I go for it.
So yes, technically you did download something, but you weren't actually downloading a proper DLC thing. It's just like a bit of code that unlocks something on the disc. So
Oh, did it? Oh, that's
so
interesting.
if you have the European version or the American version, you cannot download the Japanese exclusive stuff. Same
Oh,
with in Japan,
huh.
you could not download any. So we in the UK we had something like a Reebok event.
Yeah, I
You
remember
know,
that.
yeah.
Like
So
time trials or something.
I don't think that was on the American one, was it? Or was it?
I've played it, but I don't know if that's because like Dreamcast Live or Dreamcast Talk or whatever just has them
Yeah.
up to download. I don't know if that was only American. I can look it up while you're talking about it
So
though.
yeah, basically, is actually on the disc. So depending on what disc you had, if it's the the North American version, the PAL version, the Japanese version, there was bits of content that were locked. And then they released these like little, basically, it's almost like a little file that goes to your VMU and tells the game, "Hey, unlock this now." So yeah, all this stuff was pre-planned
Oh, I
and
have not done
stuff.
this. Okay, I thought it was something else, but it was Europe only.
Mm,
Reebok DMX shoe collecting challenge for Emerald Coast.
yeah, um, but yeah, so
Oh, you can
it's
actually win stuff.
yeah,
Did you know that?
there was some sort of competition, but I don't really.
Did you know that? Of course you did. It says here the 50 best times could win a prize. 11th through 50th place, an exclusive European Sonic Speed Challenge Reebok t shirt. That's
Ooh,
too much. 5th through 10th got a framed certificate and a pair of Reebok shoes. I would want that certificate. Are you kidding me? Second, third, and fourth, framed gold Sonic disc. 200 pounds worth of Reebok clothing plus a pair of Reebok DMX shoes. And then the first prize, Sonic Dreamcast kiosk, 1,000 pounds worth of Reebok apparel, including a pair of Reebok DMX shoes. But you don't get the certificate. Fifth
ah,
through 10th is the only one that gets the certificate,
yeah, that's
but a whole freaking kiosk.
wild. That would, like you imagine if you're just like a kid living in your parents' house, and I don't know, like maybe you live in a trailer park or something, and they're like, "Hey, you want a kiosk?" You're like, great, where do I put it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but that was still really
strap it to
cool.
the side of the building.
Yeah, just but that's really cool. I didn't. Yeah, I think I vaguely remember there being competition. I didn't realize it was that impressive. That maybe I should have actually tried to do it. But yeah, great game. It's
Go back
just
and tell your past self.
yeah, do it, kid. Do it for the
I
future.
still play and just still find I just enjoy it as much as I did day one.
Yeah, it's something. It's something. So okay, I think there's one thing that I love about this more than other 3D Sonic games is that even though some of the levels, like the one that's on the video right now, you are just running forward in a straight line, there were lots of areas of the game where there was a bit more exploration. You can walk around, you could take your
Hmm.
time, you could slow down and do some more strategic jumps, which was more reminiscent of classic Sonic, in my opinion, because
Yeah,
classic Sonic is not just balls to the wall speed; it is methodical platforming, going fast at certain points, but also slowing down, exploring the levels, trying to find better routes. And you kind of had elements of that in this, even though it wasn't quite the same. But then future, basically after this, most future Sonic games, it was just like run as fast as you can in a straight line. And there is some
right.
fun in that, but I feel like this is what I loved about it. Like right now on the screen, they're sort of showing Sonic jumping between the spikes on the ice cap zone level.
Oh, that part is a little
I
rough,
mean,
but
it's
yeah.
rough, but it's different. It's not running forward really fast all the time. um, and going back, platforming in this sort of section, going back and forth, and then you get to go on the snowboard and stuff like that, which is always awesome. Um, but yeah, it's
One of my favorite soundtracks.
yeah, oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, I loved. Oh, what's that level? I can't even remember what it's called now. I think it's on the off the end of the highway level. You go into like that sort of part of the city or a town or something, and the music there is really good.
Oh, as
And
Knuckles?
yes, I think you go there as Sonic as well, but the Knuckles version is the one that
Yeah,
got the brilliant.
that's one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called
It's
now.
called I forget. It's called like Speed Highway at the soundtrack is next to me, you idiot. Um let me look it up here, dummy. I think it's called like Speed Highway at Dawn or something. But
Yeah, something like that.
um yeah, oh it's just at dawn dot 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 for Speed Highway. Yeah.
Hmm,
That's a cool chill track. I think it's one of Knuckles' first levels or something. Um
very cool.
yeah, I mean, I've accepted it just like I've accepted some of my favorite movies are kind of the basic choices, but like Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite. It's my favorite Dreamcast game, and I'm fine accepting that now. I'm old enough to. I don't need to be like edgy and cool and say like only Illplay. It's the only good game, you know. No, Sonic Adventure is one of my favorite Dreamcast game. One of my favorite Sonic games.
Fantastic.
So,
And
all right, what do we got here?
so let's go to the
The
bad.
bad.
The bad. I'm going with Sonic Adventure 2. I'm sorry,
Ooh,
I own the 10th anniversary version of it,
so
and
do I.
I just
It's bad, sir.
I didn't like the game. I know some people
It
say it's their
has.
favorite version, but
Uh,
I
I'll let you say it. Yeah.
so my issue with it is okay. See, it sounded cool being able to play, the good side and the dark side. Sonic's team and
Right.
then Shadow's team. That sounded cool, but the only good levels on it are Sonic and Shadows, and they're basically identical. I hated
Preach.
playing as Tails and Robotnik. I just
Preach.
didn't find them fun at all. And
Nope.
weirdly, Knuckles and Rouge, I love the Knuckles levels in Sonic Adventure, and they're kind of the same. I guess the same in a way.
They are
They're
the
kind of,
same. Yeah.
but they're boring. There's something, but they're just boring
Yep.
now. I don't know why. I just did not find any
Yep.
of them fun. And again, in Sonic Adventure 1, you've got the Gamma levels, which are kind of similar to the Robotnik and Tails levels in this, but then again, they just weren't as fun. The platforming elements in the Tails and Robotnik levels were just god awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot about it I just did not enjoy. As I say, Shadow and Sonic, they were actually fun, but that was the start of just running forward really fast and everything, and kind of making it look more style over substance. I'd say is what it was. And I
Yes. Very
also
much so.
annoyed me they got rid of the adventure start part of it of the Sonic Adventure, if that makes sense. Because
The overworld.
I enjoyed the
The
overworld,
hub.
yeah, the hub world, the overworld. Finding ways to get to the next area, finding all this, hidden things you could speaking to people. That stuff I
Hmm.
really enjoyed about Sonic Adventure. It's like a downtime away from like the chaoticness of all the action levels and things. So yeah, Sonic Adventure 2. I've got it. I own it on multiple machines now. I don't love it that
That's our
much.
fate. No,
Mm,
you said it all. I just don't. Soundtrack's decent. You know, one of the
mm,
catchiest and most sing-alongy songs, Escape from the City.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That song is fun. That level is fun. But yeah, I never legitimately unlocked the 3D when you collect all the emblems in the
Oh, yeah.
game. I never unlocked them all. I have played that through downloaded save files and stuff, but Robotnik and Tails' levels are the literal reason I'd never unlocked all the emblems because I don't have the patience for them. I just
Yes.
do not.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Same here. I never actually unlocked it. It was years after later, like when the internet was really big, that I saw this
Yep.
Green Hill Zone in 3D. I was like, "What is this?" And it was like, "It's Sonic Adventure
Right.
2." I'm like, "Is it?" I don't remember that.
I will say though, and the main reason I like Sonic Adventure 1 more than 2 is the hub world as well. I just like that connection, that actual world that you're in. Um, but the one thing that I will say Adventure 2 has over 1 is all the Chow stuff is so much more streamlined.
Oh yeah,
The Chow mini games and the VMU stuff, the just a lot more quality of life was applied to that. You have like the karate, the racing, and I forget what the other thing is you have to do with Chow's. There's three things, but I can't. You have that whole black market. You can buy stuff for your Chow, and it's a lot more interactive. So that stuff is cool. That's the one like genuinely better thing I like in Sonic Adventure 2 over 1, especially trying to go back to Adventure 1 recently and trying to raise a Chow and a VMU. Good God, I don't have the time for that. um, yeah, we could do a whole episode on like why Sonic Adventure 2 is actually not good. Sorry, everybody whose first experience with Sonic was that, and you're an edge lord because you like Shadow. I've come to grow. I've grown to accept Shadow, and he's okay. He's cool now in my
Hmm.
eyes. But man, Sonic Adventure 2, I did not care about Hot
Yeah,
Topic the Hedgehog.
yeah, same. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, I don't have a problem with the character, Shadow or anything, but yeah, I just the game, not a fan, not a fan.
yeah.
Um,
Speaking
yeah,
of Sonic Shuffle,
oh
not many are a
yeah,
fan of that. That's my bad choice. Even though I've come around to it, even though I just said I come around to Shadow, but you need to play it with all human players because the
yeah,
computer cheats. The computer is unfair. It is not
yeah,
fun if it's just you versus three people. It is a board game with Sonic characters made by some people that made Mario Party. So you can't just say flat out Mario Party is better because they were doing this one too. Um, it was so ambitious. I wish they spent enough time with it to actually include the online mode. I don't know if you knew that was initially planned for
mm,
it. It was supposed to have online multiplayer, and I wish that that happened so that now with the Dreamcast Live people, they could have brought that back,
that'd
and
have
we'd
been
have
cool. Yeah,
online Sonic Shuffle because it got panned for its load times, but nowadays that's just time to spend on your cell phone. Um, so
ah,
it's just
man.
it's not great. I don't hate it as much as I used to. It was kind of a joke during the Dreamcast marathons. It was like, all right, raise this much money and now we're gonna suffer by playing Sonic Shuffle. It's not as bad, but it's still just like, what's going on in this game?
Yeah, the only time I've played with other people is at the Dreamcast Marathon, and that's the most I've played of the game. And I think there were a few
That's
mini
fine.
games that started and ended within like 4 seconds, and I have no idea what happened. Like
Oh yeah.
they just seem to start and end. I was like, and someone won. Like what was going on?
Yeah.
Um,
There is like the kind of host who tells all the rules and describes the boards and whatever. You can eventually unlock to make that character uh, get replaced with knights from Knights into Dreams, which is cool. But I remember one year I was like, you know what? I'm gonna unlock stuff in this game and try to do it legitimately before the marathon. I gave up after one round of me against three computers. It was not fun.
yeah, I,
Golly, I didn't win. I couldn't like. It was just I didn't understand how people played this game and got through it by
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
So
Obviously, the concept is good because Mario Party made it popular and stuff, and they are the
yeah,
same team behind Mario Party, which is that's the most. I
yeah,
think that's the most frustrating thing about it. They did a good game and they made this.
right.
Ah,
I don't know. And what's the biggest tease of it is the opening video, which is kind of cool
okay.
because they use all the Sonic Adventure models and stuff, but the opening video is neat and they're like running through the city and then going through this wormhole portal thing and they get transferred to somewhere else and you're like, "Whoa, what's going to happen?" Oh, we're playing a board game. So yeah,
Yeah,
that one that looks like she's got Madonna's bra on her head. That
Oh
character
yeah,
you can change into knights.
yeah. She does kind of look almost nice knights-esque, kind of
Very
floaty,
much so.
floating in the sky. Yeah, but yeah, not much more to say on that, I don't think. So
No,
the other game of this era that I think is good, is worthwhile checking out. Don't want to say too much on it. Sonic Heroes. I genuinely thought at the time this was actually a pretty
it's
fun game.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's got oh, so they're
It's
showing
not
clips
Sonic
from
Heroes.
yeah, now it's showing clips from Sonic Adventure. Um, but yeah, if you don't know, it's a Sonic game where you have three characters basically at the time. At the time, you kind of controlling three at one. Well, you kind of control one and two follow you, but you then
You
switch
have
between the
teams
characters. They're
though.
teams, so you can switch between characters to help you progress through the levels in different ways. I think the level design is really good in this game. I
Hmm.
thought it looks really good. Basically, if this was a single player, like just a normal single player Sonic game, I think it would probably been better received. But as it
Yep.
is, it's a fun game. That's that's a decent storyline as well from memory. I can't. I just remember bits of the storyline. It's been years since I played it, but yeah.
Sonic Heroes. You know, it's
And oh,
I
sorry.
forever ago. The only thing I'll say on this, forever ago, with Sega Addicts, podcast co-host Brett and we argued that I said Sonic Heroes was decent. He said Shadow the Hedgehog from 2005. That game was decent, and so we played each of them, and I came out saying Shadow's not that bad. I'm sorry. So, but because Shadow was everything that you said was good about Sonic Adventure 2, it was Sonic and Shadow levels.
Yeah,
So the controls were just decent and stuff. But
I
yeah,
never played
no,
Shadow the Hedgehog, even though I own it on Xbox. I think, I never
I'd
played it.
say give it a shot at one point, but don't try to unlock everything because you have to play like 13 times or something
Oh, okay,
insane. I
fair enough.
forget.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've got a feeling I was at Kevin Eva from when he worked at Sega Europe. He gave me a copy because they had them just
okay.
randomly around the office. He was like, "Do you want one of these?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So
Wow.
that's when I
We
used to
got them
go and
laying
visit
around. We're
them.
using them as coasters. You want one?
Basically, yeah, he's like, "Yeah, we're clearing out some stuff. Here's Shadow." And we're like, "Okay, yeah, I'll take it."
Nice.
Um,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So your other, which I have
I
questions about this. I don't know what this is. What is this?
All right. The Leapster console is a handheld thing. It's an edutainment type system for kids. It has a D-pad, it has face buttons. Um, this video shows the Leapster L Max, but Sonic X, that cartoon was out at this time, so they put a Sonic X game on Leapster, which uses Sonic 3 sprites. Well, it
Okay.
has like Sonic Advance, but then also Sonic 3 sprites within the game itself. Um, and you're doing like math problems. You have to like find the answer through maybe skip forward to show the actual
Oh,
game.
okay.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
So you're just running around these levels, finding the answer to math problems, and then I don't know if you actually engage in any type of combat, but once you find the answer, then you get rings added to your ring total. What's jarring is when rings are added, it's the sound that happens when in the 2D days of Sonic, when you get hit and like take damage and lose all your rings,
Oh.
that's the sound it makes when you collect rings, which is really weird to me. But I forgot this thing existed and I've never looked into it more than I did for this episode. And I've already, right now, what we're looking at is more footage than I've seen of this game ever. But I thought it was worth mentioning just that it exists during this time.
Never even heard of the console that is on. It's really funny.
Oh yeah, the Leapster. That might have been just an American thing. I'm not sure. Um,
Probably.
it was a thing off of Leapfrog was a education was a thing for kids for
Oh, I've
educating kids.
heard of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they came up
With
with it was like don't hand kids your iPad, give them a Leapster, you know.
so I mean, the video footage looks kind of jerky, like the animations and stuff, but the
Yeah,
graphics look pretty decent for what it is, I guess, and the cutscenes look pretty good. So yeah.
it's like one step up of the Game Boy Advance
Hmm.
video carts, you know, or
Yeah.
something.
Man. Cool.
So I thought it was
And
just worth mentioning briefly.
with that, we're now moving on to the Xbox 360, PS3, Wii era.
Oh man. What a time. I was working at GameStop at this time, so I was getting everything that I could, telling everybody about every Sega thing. Um, maybe more than I should of other games. Who cares? The best game in this era released, in my opinion, was Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. The second of the racing games, the first one for that. The first one was Sonic and All Star Racing, I think, just or something like that, or Sonic and
Yeah,
Sega All Star,
yeah.
Sonic and Sega All Star Racing. This one had so many Sega characters in it, so many Sega themed levels. The Panzer Dragoon level was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Um, he races BD Joe, as you can see there. The one of the best unlockable characters in any racing game, Ages, is a VMU. This game you had planes, trains, and automobiles. You had car mode, you had flying mode, and you had boat mode. So the for Ages, for example, um, the car mode was the Hornet from Daytona, USA. Flying was the F-18 or something from
Afterburner.
can't remember the game. Afterburner.
Yeah.
And then the boat form was a Dreamcast controller, like turned into a speedboat, basically, which is great. Uh, but this game, oh my gosh, I played the crap out of this. I own it on everything it's been released on: 3DS, Wii U, PS3, 360. I don't have a PC version. Whoops, let me
Ooh.
get that. But 3DS, which is rough. Yeah, you've got Ooh La La from Space Channel 5. There's a Burning Rangers level track. Um, have recently played this online on PC with people. It's not optimized for that, but it's still the servers are still up as far as I'm concerned. Um, oh my gosh, we could have a whole episode on that. I could have a whole episode on this on my by myself. It's a good game.
It is a really good game. And I would have chosen this, but I also think Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing is a good game as well. So
I just
this
haven't
is
played that one as much as Transformed, is all I'll
so
say.
arguably Transformed. I would say could be considered better. I mean, there's more characters and there's kind of there's a lot going on in it. This is still a really solid game. Let's try and skip forward in the gameplay a bit more. Oh, what's it just showing? Oh, sorry, I'm trying. This video is
Oh, it
not.
had the choo choos. I forgot.
Yeah. So the thing that I like about this is I guess the mini games.
Okay.
There's like almost like missions and challenges you have to do, which are kind of like mini games. And that was something I really loved. And like me and my friends, we used to just play the single player we'd play, but we'd just take it in
Mm,
turns on the mini games. And then we'd after we get a bit bored of that, we'd go and play the actual races. And the races are really good. Like it's a very solid racer still. Transform though only takes up to like 11 with the whole, the actual tracks
yeah.
transforming and the cars, the vehicles transforming. But this is still a great game. So if you get a chance, and the Wii version of this is really good as well. Like it didn't feel that much of a step down compared to the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions. So yeah, I think
Mm,
it shows you just there that there's something called missions. That's something you get. I don't know if this video's actually got anything to do with the missions in it. Sorry, probably should have checked the videos before I did that. Gameplay, not sure anything about
that's
that.
okay.
No, it's fine. Anyway, still really good, really awesome, vibrant levels. Some of them are similar to what you see in Transforms, but a bit different. And yeah, great game. Check it out.
Yeah, so good. And the one last thing I'll say is Mario Kart 7, I forget what it was, came out on 3DS for Transformed, the same time as Transformed, I
Oh yeah,
mean, which had flying levels, which was just them on hang gliders, like kind of
yeah.
floating. And then
Mm.
it had underwater levels, which is just you're driving underwater. But people were like, well, it's got the same thing as Mario. And I'm just like, it's not the same thing at all. Transformed was so much better.
It was. It was much better.
Now, the bad, ladies and gentlemen. I have PTSD with this game, and I'll tell you why. Sonic and the Secret Rings,
Ooh.
one of the worst Sonic games I played. You held the Wiimote. If I had something to show you, I would. Let's go with my Neo Geo Pocket Color. If this is a Wiimote sideways, you hold it like this, like a table, and you would like it was an on rails running game essentially. And so to jump in Sonic and the Secret Rings, you would lift the controller up sideways, like you would hold it on both sides and just hold it like jerk it upright. And you couldn't back up. You could back up, but you couldn't like backtrack in levels a whole lot. Um, I this was the game on the Wii that made me almost throw my Wiimote out of anger. I hated this game so much.
Oh yeah.
Um, just not good, just such a letdown. And I beat it, but I like cast it out of my brain to the point that I found a Sonic like mix soundtrack thing that was like an official release, and I bought it. And I'm going through the tracks, making sure the CD works. And then suddenly, Seven Rings in Hand pops up. I'm like, oh God, I'm not joking. I got a cold chill when I heard this song. I'm like, which game is this from? And it was from this. I'm like, oh my God, that's why I just suddenly felt sick. I
Yeah.
suddenly felt ill hearing this theme song again. I hate Sonic and the Secret Rings so much. It's so bad.
Oh man, yeah. So I remember when this first came out and I reviewed it, I was like, "This is a pretty fun game." I don't know why I did that because it's not a fun game. It's it's really bad. It's yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's not
the
good.
controls are awful. The level designs aren't great. The idea behind it was kind of cool, like because of the how bad Sonic the
This
Hedgehog
was the first of the
2006 was
storybook
released.
games.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
right.
so this came out after Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, and everyone trashed that. They kind of went, let's go back to just make Sonic more basic. And they basically said, let's just have him running forward the whole time, and you just steer using the cool motion controls of the Wii. And yeah, they just failed.
Ugh.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, '07. You're right. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I
So,
give them credit for trying something different, but good
yeah.
Lord.
But they didn't stop with one game, did they? They also
Nope.
did Sonic and the Black Knight, which is my worst. Oh, this is one of my worst. I think this could be my worst Sonic game, actually. Actually,
I
no,
haven't played this one.
there's one other that I could consider as well, but this, oh god. So yeah, if you didn't like Secret Rings, this don't
You gotta
like
whack 'em.
this game. It's so
Whack 'em.
it's basically Sonic and Secret Rings where you're running forwards, always constantly running forward using the Wiimote to control, but you've also got a sword.
Sonic
Because you're
doesn't need a sword. He has blades on the back of his head.
yeah, but yeah. So the whole thing is Sonic's transformed back into like medieval times, effectively. And
Right.
I can't even remember if I even beat this game. I think I got to one point with a boss, and I was just like, I'm done. It's just not fun. Because like one
Right.
of the bosses, you kind of because you're always running forward. Like when you get to the bosses, he kind of stops. Like he slows down, and you're meant to like you're standing in front of the boss. But I just remember constantly just like I can't remember if you tap A or you have to swing the Wiimote or something to fight to attack. But
Hmm.
I just seem to be butting up against this boss, and I was just like hitting him, and I was just like, this is not a fun
Huh.
game. This is what am I doing? um,
Yeah, I don't know. This was the second of what was planned for three storybook iterations of
hmm.
Sonic games. I forget what the third one was going to be, but they just didn't get there because these didn't do great, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. The song though at the start of this was actually really good. That's the one
Good
thing I will
Lord.
say is good about this the song. uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I would know it if I heard it, but at Sonic Symphony, I've been to two of those, and this is that's one of the songs where the crowd just pops off during
yeah,
this Sonic and the Black Knight.
yeah. That's I think I just really had that one on my Spotify playlist for ages because I thought this is a great song. Terrible game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Mhm.
bad. Let's hit up the other. I
Yeah.
chose Sonic 4,
Ooh.
boldly titled Sonic 4. There was episode 1 and 2. They I think around this time also there was a Contra 4. Just people were brave numbering these things, and Sonic 4 was one of them. It just did not. It was a 2D game, the sequel to the Genesis and Mega Drive era, but it didn't feel like Sonic. It didn't play exactly like Sonic. They couldn't mimic. Not until Sonic Mania could they figure out how to mimic the feel of those old 2D games, and it just felt slow and weird. And you'll always see the video or the GIF of Sonic like standing totally sideways on a hill or whatever. um, I don't even remember the bonus levels. One of them tried to be the bonus levels of Sonic 1, if I recall correctly. Um, the only cool thing that came out of it is that in Sonic 4 Episode 2, I think it was Episode 2, they had Episode Metal where you could play as Metal Sonic.
Oh, okay.
But
So
otherwise, woof.
yeah, I played through episode one. I didn't replay through episode two. They lost the so I know we spoke about how I didn't like Sonic's pinball, but Sonic the Hedgehog was originally based on pinball mechanics almost, like the whole the way
Right.
Sonic
Momentum and
yeah
everything.
the momentum basically that's kind of how they originally designed Sonic really. And you've got you have to build up speed. Like when he goes into a ball, he actually moves a bit more like a pinball sort of thing. And then, yeah, they lost it for this game. Like they don't have the
Right.
physics basically, the Sonic the Hedgehog physics, which is weird. I did. How can you like you're the
It's a
company that
real
made
shame.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like. Sonic's lock on attack. I know is brought into Sonic Adventure and
Oh,
stuff.
there's the
And
bonus levels.
oh yeah,
Oh,
whoa, that is trippy. That's worse
it's
than the
not. I
Mega
got
Drive was.
nauseous playing these for the first time
Yeah.
because
Oh,
it like the camera keeps Sonic centered and you're moving the level rather than Sonic. It feels like.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's not good.
So I will say, Sonic 4 aside, this was my favorite era of Sega itself because they were
Mm.
really focused on the community, the fans. And I interviewed Ken Ballo, who was with Sega of America. He was the brand manager for Sonic at the
Ooh.
time. Um, there, we can maybe link my interview with him from PAX East, but like he was awesome. Aaron Weber,
Oh yeah.
that whole crew, like that was my favorite era of the Sonic or the Sega staff because they were so focused on the community. Whereas now it's like, are you an influencer? Here's a code, go stream it. Um,
Yeah.
but like
That's
this was there's episode metal there. But yeah,
oh
that
yeah.
was a great time for Sega, I felt.
Yeah, same here actually. Yeah, and yeah, in Europe we had a really good community. Had Kevin Eva I mentioned earlier, Martin Snelling, he
Hmm.
was really good. Sarah Welleck, she was brilliant, and
Yeah, Sarah, I couldn't remember her name. Yeah.
yeah, she was great. And yeah, I think she left.
Yeah.
She left Sega, then came back again for a while. And I think she's gone again. But yeah, now it's not the same really, unfortunately.
No, yeah. I do miss this time in Sega, but yeah, that's the other Sonic 4. Who remembers
Ooh,
that?
yeah. So now we're going on to like the Wii U, Xbox One, PS4 era.
Oh, you didn't
Oh
want to
no!
mention
Oh
your others at all?
oh, my others. Sorry, no, my others. Ah, okay. And my others. It's so okay. There's a few I wanted to go through, but actually, have I got no? Okay,
You
screw it.
spelled colors wrong.
Yeah, I spelled it the British way. um,
Gotcha.
yeah. So okay, I actually was going to bring up a different video, but never mind.
Oops.
So one of the games I'm actually going to mention is Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games on the Wii. It's so if you played Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, it's kind of like that. But I thought this was a better game because it's less button mashy. There's actually more, I guess, racing involved, if that makes sense. So like, it's not pure racing, but things like snowboarding and stuff, it felt more like a racing game. The hockey felt better, like a good sport. Skiing and things like that. It also was
Hmm.
compatible with the Wii balance board. So, like for snowboarding,
Oh Lord, what
you could do
wasn't?
snowboarding on the Wii balance
Right.
board, which I thought was really good. Skiing, I think, as well. You could do it as well if you turn the balance board the other way. And yeah, I thought it was just a good
What a
game. And
time.
also, even on the I've got it here actually on the 3DS. It was still a good game on 3DS. Was slightly different. You had like this overworld hub with like a village that you could walk around
Huh.
and stuff. But it's still a really good
I
game.
skipped most of these, but
It's,
I trust you.
no, I thought it was a great game. I haven't played
Hmm.
any. I haven't played the more recent one at Sochi Winter Games, which came out a few years ago. Uh, but the original one, check it out. I think it's a very fun game.
Word.
Oh, yeah. I was also going to mention, and you'll probably hate me for this, Sonic 2006. I'm going to mention it very briefly.
That's
I know,
fine.
I know
We
most
gotta
people
we
hate.
gotta mention it. We gotta acknowledge it, even though it doesn't acknowledge itself. Spoilers in the plot.
So here's the thing: most people obviously hate Sonic 06 because it was a buggy mess when it came out. I played it years after it came. Oh no, I played it originally when it first came out and agreed it was terrible. Years later, I played it and I was like, actually played and completed it and thought this is better than I remember. They ironed out a lot of the bugs. The story, even though it's a bit weird in places, obviously with like a human kissing Sonic at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, overall, I thought the story was actually pretty epic. Like, is yeah. Downside
There
is
is a
the Tails levels were terrible, like worse than Sonic Adventure
oh
2.
yeah, the
Oh,
ring bomb or
oh
whatever.
god, yeah,
I
that's
barely
awful.
played it.
Yeah, but
I uh, I wish I sometimes uh will randomly remember that I did a podcast about Sonic 06 and I barely played it, but the other people that played it knew the story and had played it through, and they told me what the big plot reveal was, and I it's an audio recording of me losing my mind that they did what they did with the plot in that game. And I was like, even the game knows that it's so horrible it wants to forget itself. That's what I'll say. Um, but there is a PC mod that makes it a lot more solid that I
hmm,
recommend everyone check out. I
okay,
forget what it's actually called, but yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. Oh, just put it
Otherwise,
out there.
like you said, there is a solid era for Sonic
Yeah, it is.
outside of all the complaints we just had.
Oh, man. So, oh yeah, next up, the Wii U, Xbox One, PS4 era. So
Man, oh man.
good. I think the good. Most people probably expect this. Sonic Mania. It's.
Sonic Mania, baby.
I'm not going to go
This is
too
what
much.
happens when a fan figures out how to get the physics working for 2D Sonic games.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So if you people don't know, there was a fan called Christian Whitehead, and there was a couple of actually there's someone else as well who I think worked with him. I've forgotten his name, and I apologise for that. But he worked on a port of the iOS versions of the games because the original iOS version of the game was terrible, and he basically worked out all the bugs and kinks of Sonic the Hedgehog 1, and they basically hired him to make the port official. So he worked on the iOS and Android versions of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, made them really good.
Hmm.
And then they were like, hey, you're really good at this. Why don't you come on and make a whole brand new Sonic game, basically? So yeah, him and a team and Sega, they worked together and made Sonic Mania, and it's brilliant, really. It's basically this is what the Sonic should have been on the Saturn, really. A 2D Sonic on the Saturn,
Yeah,
or even
sure.
Dreamcast. Oh, as we
Yeah,
said at the start, he's coming to Dreamcast. Yay!
yeah, right. Also known as the Tax Man, but Christian
That's it.
Whitehead had a couple of Sonic fan games that he made, and as opposed to Nintendo, who would shut these things down left and right, even though no one's making money off of them, Sega hired him, and
Hmm.
him and his team made Sonic Mania. It was not just him, but
Yeah,
yeah, they made Sonic Mania, which is great. Sonic Mania Plus is great. I don't think we need to say much more about it.
yeah. Oh, was one of the guys called Stealth or something? I've got Stealth in my head. Like
That
there's
sounds right.
yeah. So there's Taxman and Stealth, I think, or Stealth something. Anyway, but yeah, no, brilliant. If
Yeah,
you haven't played
Simon
it,
Stealth Tomley.
there we go. Yeah,
Hmm.
cool. So that was your good
Good
as well,
stuff.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my good as well. We could have a whole podcast on Mania, and people have, but it's great.
Yeah. And my bad for this era is Sonic Forces, which I think I've actually got next. Oh yeah, I forgot to hold up some of these games. Sonic and the Black Knight,
That's okay.
Sonic Forces. There we go. So
Rightfully so.
if you don't know Sonic Forces, it's a 3D Sonic game. It looks really good. Like visually, it looks amazing. The thing about it is you could create your own sort of avatar character, basically,
Yeah.
um, which was like a Sonic, I guess, Sonic-y kind of style, weird anthropomorphic creature type thing, which wasn't really. I don't think
Your
it was actually.
OC.
Yeah. Anyway, the thing about this game is the best bit about it for me was the character you created. Like his gameplay was the best bit of the game. It was a bit
Yeah.
more interesting, and it's how can you, it's not a good Sonic game when the worst character is Sonic in it, basically, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
some of the levels were really fun, some of them weren't so fun. The story I remember not enjoying. There was bits of the story I just thought this is stupid. Some people loved it though. I just I
I
played
haven't
it.
met anyone who
I
did.
think I reviewed it. I can't even remember if I actually reviewed it in the end, but I did play through it. And yeah. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. There's you there's these bits in the game where you kind of join forces with your avatar character, and you're kind of stuck in like I guess like an alternate dimension thing, and you have to work together to get an extra strong speed boost, basically, to get out of this other dimension. And in theory, that was a really cool idea and good moment in the game, but they repeated
Hmm.
it multiple times throughout the game.
I don't even remember that,
Oh
but I
god,
trust you.
yeah. Unless I'm misremembering, and that was a different game, but from memory, that was this game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was this game. Yeah, it definitely was this game. But yeah, yeah. I wonder if I should show it in the video because sorry, let's see if I can skip
Well, it
forward.
didn't help that this released 3 months after Mania, the
Mm,
best 2D Sonic game to date. So it was a weird year where we got the best 2D Sonic game, in my opinion. And then they also released a 3D Sonic game for the rest of the fans. And it was just like,
yeah.
man,
See, sorry. And this on the video right now, they're showing this double boost thing where you go faster,
oh,
basically. Um,
okay.
but yeah, there was a whole thing about using this double boost to like help escape, but it's only on certain bits
Mhm.
like boss battles and stuff. And it would have been a really cool, epic moment in the game story wise if this happened once, but they did it
Yeah,
multiple
right.
times, and it's just like this is not. I don't know. Yeah, they throw in lots of characters. Like they've got like Chaos here from Sonic Adventure as a bad guy you play
Yeah, it
against.
was jarring a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't like it. I finished it and that was it. I don't know because I love Sonic Mania though.
you're
But speaking of
bad.
horrible 3D games, Sonic Boom on the Wii U released, and it has a difficult development story. The cartoon, from what I understand, is decent. I've only seen
Mm.
like a couple episodes and random snippets here and there. But this game was like a co-op. I don't remember if it could be up to 4 player or not. Um, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy hanging out with more tethering stuff and team attacks and whatever. And I barely played this version, played a bunch of the 3DS version that we'll get into later, but I don't even want to give this much lip service because it's just not a great game.
Yeah, I never played it. I can't really comment on it. It didn't look great. I never got a chance to play it. I didn't have a Wii U at the
It
time, so yeah,
it became
that's
the new Sonic 06.
right. Yeah, I remember having lots of glitchy problems with it or something. Whoa, they're showing.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, Knuckles could like fall through the level forever. I forget what other stuff, but
yeah, it doesn't seem that good. Anyways, let's
so
moving on. So
uh
the other for me, you're probably gonna hate this. Sonic and Lost World. I think this is a fun game. I've got it on
I barely
PC.
touched it.
I like it. The thing I like
Oh yeah, it
about
is
it
on PC.
The thing I like about it is it's not a balls to the wall, speedy, super fast Sonic game. There's actually a lot of like you can go fast, but there's methodic. There's some bits of levels where you have to slow down a bit. You can also find multiple routes through the levels. So if you
Hmm.
don't know, it's kind people rip on it because it's kind of a bit of a copy of Mario Galaxy, which came out before this, obviously. But like the
Yep.
worlds that you're on, a lot of the levels you can rotate full 360 around like these sort of almost
Yeah, big
floating
old
planet
cylinder.
things. Yeah. There's a lot of cylinder action. There's a few planty style things. But like I think it's like the very first level, you can just run straight forward and go through the level that way. Or if you just move around a bit, like rotate around the level, you can find completely different routes. And that's what I liked about it. And I think some of the levels, especially later on, get really good. And yeah, just generally, I think it looks a good game as well. Visually, it's a very attractive game. Is it my favorite Sonic? Not by a long shot, but I think there's fun to be had. It's different. It's a very different Sonic game and not terrible. That's the best I can say. Not terrible.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, no, all I know about I actually played more of the add-on, the DLC that was a Legend of Zelda
Oh
DLC
yeah,
for some reason. That didn't make sense to me that it came out, but yeah, the Legend of Zelda Zone. Um, and I'll tell you why I enjoyed this so much. It reminded me of Sonic World from Sonic Jam.
yeah. I
So
never
it's
got a
really, but
chance
I
to
mean,
play
and
this.
Sonic looks goofy, but somehow Link's tunic and like the green thing on just his one big quill in the back fits so perfectly and
Yeah,
everything. So it looks
it
cool.
it does look really good. I wish I got to play. I didn't have a Wii U when this came out, unfortunately. So
Hmm.
I had to have a Wii U now, and I think I do own it on the Wii U, but I don't think they have the DLC available anymore.
I
Um,
don't know how you would get the DLC
yeah,
or if
I
that's
don't.
even possible.
Yeah, maybe on an emulator it might be possible somehow. I don't know,
Oh, there's
but
a restoration mod for it, so there you
oh,
go.
there we go. Cool. But yeah, I
The
mean,
internet provides.
to be fair, I kind of wish they made a 3D Sonic game just like this because it looks really good.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Just exploring an open. This is like Frontiers, but in uh smaller scope, if
yeah,
anything.
which I appreciate. So your other.
My other was I fell asleep googling. I had nothing.
Oh yeah, nothing. Oh, okay. I really have footage of Sonic Rider Zero Gravity, which wasn't a terrible game.
Zero
Wasn't brilliant
G.
either. Anyway, let's
Was
move
this
on.
the Connect one or whatever?
No, this that was is the Wii one. There was one on Connect, but this was the
Okay.
Wii one, which was fun. It was
I haven't played
entertaining.
any of these. I know
Uh,
it. I think I
it
own one of them.
it was so the original Sonic Riders. A lot of people hated because it was really tough. And a very steep learning curve. Zero Gravity dumbed it down a bit. Some people didn't like the dumbing down.
Oh yeah,
I
I
did
can see the
prefer it.
Wii game right behind me. Never played it though.
Give it a try. It's not terrible. Again, not terrible.
Hmm.
Oh man, I love them. And okay,
Making our way
here we
through.
go. Here we go.
Switching it up to the Switch, Xbox Series X and S, and then the PS5. We had Sonic Origins was my good one, and for obvious reasons, it's the main. It's Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and Sonic CD.
Mm.
Making the second time in my entire life that I've played through Sonic CD, but I actually 100%ed Sonic CD this
Ooh.
time. Those bonus levels were something else. But the Tyson Hess did amazing work on these cutscenes in between all of the games that like connect them together. But yeah, Sonic Origins is all of them combined. I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is one game together. I don't think you can
Okay.
play Sonic 3 on its own.
Ah,
Lots of unlockable stuff. This kind of shows a coming of the times, or I don't know what the phrase is I'm looking for. Sonic Jam, you just had stuff and you just could listen to the different tracks, you could explore different areas. This one, you had to unlock different
yeah.
tracks and you had to like unlock the things that were just there in earlier collections. Not the best collection, but definitely the Sonic thing of this era that I spent the most time in. So it was
Nice.
okay. I think it's a decent way to get have access to these games. Unfortunately, the Sonic 3, a lot of the Sonic 3 levels, the soundtrack is rough because it's the old like MIDI versions of stuff like Carnival Night or Casino Night,
Carnival Night was
Casino, whatever.
Sonic 3.
Okay, whatever's in Sonic 3 has a completely different soundtrack. Ice Cap is different, or a different
Ah,
track, I should say. But that aside, I enjoyed the collection, but I played it more than anything else in this era. But that's probably
nice.
telling of me.
Fair enough.
Uh,
I never really played it much. I own it, but I didn't really play it much. But I guess
it's okay.
I played the games before multiple times. Didn't really need to. For
Right.
me, I'm going with Sonic Frontiers. I genuinely thought this was actually a pretty decent game. If you don't know, it's kind of more open world Sonic game. There are levels where it's more the like I'm gonna say traditional 3D style of running forward in a straight line, but you've got this massive
Hmm.
epic open world where you find the other levels and you find hidden things as well and stuff, and you basically upgrade Sonic a bit and progress through the story. To be fair, I actually preferred the overworld more than the actual levels. There's a lot of stuff you
Mm-hmm.
can find, you can unlock. It's like a massive playground. That's the best way to explain it. It's like
Yeah.
going to like a
Yeah.
big playground and finding things you can unlock. There's hidden things as well, and yeah, it was just really fun. I never actually finished it though. I got really far, and for some reason, I moved house and had to back up the console and stuff.
Mm,
But I never got a chance to
sure.
finish playing it. But yeah, or anything else to say on this? Probably not. But I'm going to say it's the perfect
Hot
Sonic
take.
game. I'll take.
Cool. Did you say it is, or some people
No,
think it is, or what did you say?
no, I'm saying it's not the perfect, not the best Sonic game, not a
Oh,
perfect Sonic game. One thing I wish is that they made the overworld more like classic Sonic stuff. Like if it looked like Green Hill Zone, I think that would have been much more
would
appreciated.
have been fine. Yep.
Yeah, would have been really good. But they tried to make it more realistic looking, but wasn't. But yeah.
Sonic's voice was an interesting choice, and I know that wasn't up to the voice actor. He said in conventions like they wanted him to be lower and lower and lower, and it sounded
Oh,
like a different
yeah,
person.
I forgot about that.
But that was
Yeah,
so confusing to me.
yeah, that was
Hot
weird.
take, hot take, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to say a whole lot. I didn't like this. I did not like this
No, fair
game.
enough. No, it's fine. Okay, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just it felt so boring, but it also like I think it released in November, and that's the for my last job, that was the most stressful time of the year. So I don't feel like
Oh, okay.
I might not have ever given it a legitimate chance, but the times that I had played it, I just wasn't really I wasn't
Yeah,
feeling it. I don't
fair
know.
enough.
But
That's
also
cool.
like open world games, I'm just like, ah, crap, this is too much because I want to try to do everything and I just can't.
I do get.
Sonic has never been about that.
I
So
do. I understand what you mean by that. Yeah. Although
yeah.
one of the other things I loved about this, if you see what Sonic's doing right now on the screen, he's basically fighting a giant enemy, and that's
Yeah, the
it.
scope.
Yeah, the scope of some of the bosses and the levels and stuff is just insane. Like this is not a boss battle as such. It's just an enemy you fight in the open world. It's really cool. They felt like mini boss battles at times, but they weren't because these will pop up
Yeah.
occasionally. It kind of almost like a mini Shadow of the Colossus in a Sonic
Oh,
game.
right.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and there's a
Those
lot
were
of
other parts during the Sonic Symphony where people would pop off because there was like those metal tracks in the game
right, yeah,
that were very unexpected. Double kick comes in and just like screaming, and it's intense.
yeah. But yeah,
So
I think it had if it had more of a Sonic aesthetic to the levels, it would be even better.
yeah,
But
we're fine with an open world Green Hill, Sega. Just do it. Like
yeah,
we've
why
had
not?
Green Hill shoved down our throats, but still, this is the time to do it.
Exactly. Cool. So,
All right, then the bad. I agreed with you.
mm-hmm.
Coming off of Sonic and All Star Racers Transformed or whatever it's called, man, this was a downgrade
Team Sonic
severely.
Racing is
Yeah,
not a good game.
no.
Oh god, I actually
And it
forgot
was
about.
made I'll let you talk. That all I want to say. It's also made by Sumo, and I was like, oh, gotta get this day one because they did Transform. They did All Star, Sega All Star Racing
Yeah.
Transform. Clearly, this is gonna be great. Go ahead.
Oh, it's just
Sumo
not.
Digital.
It's not good. Yeah, yeah, because yeah, basically the team behind the good Sonic Racing games made this. It's like
Right.
this is no brainer. Looks good. I mean, it seems quite smooth when you watch the videos and stuff. But yeah, it's not a great game. The thing is, I've actually forgotten a lot of it. I completed it. I reviewed it, and
There's a story.
there's a
No, I didn't finish it.
story.
No.
Oh man, I just. But I beat it and I just did not enjoy it. In fact, I've got a clip which was on my personal Instagram page, and I don't really post much to Instagram. And this is one of the things I posted. Let's see. So actually, I'll give. Wait, I was just this little clip sums up my Team Sonic Racing experience in a nutshell. I am winning this race basically for most of the race. And oh, if you don't
Hmm.
know, in the game you have teams, so you have
Hmm.
other characters who are on your team with you. Basically, you're meant to help you, and you're meant to help each other. And here we go. So
Mento.
this is near the end of the race. This is the final lap, and
I remember this.
Sonic is on my team, and
Hmm.
about this is quite close to the end
Who
of
are
the
you?
race,
You're
and then
silver,
Sonic,
right?
yeah, so I'm silver. Sonic just comes in, rams me to the side, pushes me back, slows me right down, and suddenly like loads of people overtake me. Uh, and yeah, I think I ended up coming fourth at the end of that race. And I'd been winning the whole race, and then Sonic out of nowhere just goes, smashes into me. And I'm like, what is going on?
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, it's
Whoa,
uh,
this is happening.
so frustrating. But man, but also the tracks actually looks really good as well. But just
Yep.
the game
Yep.
wasn't very good. Anyway. Yeah, enough said about that. It wasn't a
No,
very good
they
game.
had like team attacks. It didn't make sense. Didn't need. I didn't. I don't know. It was all Sonic characters. We went from like the extensive library of Sega All Stars, literally,
Mm,
to just Sonic characters. That's what annoyed me more than
yeah,
anything.
I think I do understand a bit behind why that might have happened because actually interviewed Sumo Digital around Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed, and there was a lot of back and forth between Sumo, Sega Europe, Sega America, and Sega Japan with licensing issues, and
Oh,
apparently it was a pain in the ass to get. It's like there was some characters from the original Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing which weren't in Transformed because Sega Japan or Sega America or whoever did not sign off on the characters, even though they were in the first
huh.
game. They managed to get other characters for Transformed, and then it was just kind of like, we'd like you to make another racing game, but you got to use Sonic characters, basically. So that's
Yeah,
my
it's
understanding
weird.
of what happened. It was in a nutshell. I'm sure there's more to it than that,
Yeah,
but
it's like it was like you did great with this game. We're gonna punish you now.
um,
Um.
so the other stuff. What's your
Oh
other stuff?
yeah,
I don't
my
know
other
what.
one, Sonic Dream Team. Um. Really good, and it
Yeah.
surprised me how good it was. It's only on Apple Arcade, unfortunately. The devs have been interviewed and have said in lesser words that it's not impossible that it could come out on consoles, basically.
Okay.
Um, but I had a free trial of Apple Arcade, so I hooked up my MacBook to a TV and really enjoyed it. Like I was playing with the Xbox One controller,
Ooh.
um, to the point that I could see it being a console release, maybe at a lower price, because it doesn't feel like a full game, but still, it's kind of what I wanted Sonic Frontiers to be.
Hmm.
In that it's a sandbox, it has sandbox type levels with areas locked to certain characters. So there might be like a wall only Knuckles and Rouge can climb up, but over here is a ramp that Sonic can go up, but over here is an area that only Tails can fly to or something. Um, but it's almost as if you took Sonic Adventure's hub world and let any characters run around in it
Oh,
and have
that's good.
access to it and stuff.
Yeah,
So
because
I really enjoyed it.
it now makes sense because when you added this to the list, I saw this. I was like, I missed that. Like this had I had no idea this even existed.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
They've
like
added other characters too, but yeah.
yeah, because I don't have Apple Arcade. I'm not. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not against them, but I'm just not an Apple user as such. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean they just had a deal with them, and that's why it's
yeah,
only
that's
on
fair
there right
enough.
now.
Yeah, because I do remember Sega did release a few games on Apple Arcade.
Hmm.
But yeah, okay, it looks good though. This looks like a fun game, and I can understand what you're saying
Yeah.
about being a bit like Sonic Frontiers, but it looks more Sonic-y, if that makes sense.
It's more focused than Frontiers ones, and that's
Yes,
what I needed.
yeah,
So I
that's
really
fair.
dug it.
Cool.
Yeah.
My other for this one, I went with Sonic CD because
On what? I'm confused.
it's available on like Xbox Live Arcade and stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I've gone with, because I thought, what else is there? I don't think this is an era. This is not a good era for Sonic games. Basically, this
No, it's not.
yeah,
Yeah.
go
I kind of feel like it's a lackluster generation for video
yeah, it
games
really is.
overall.
Yeah, oh yeah, I kind of agree with you. There's a few good ones out there, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're hankering for a Sega Sonic thing, just go back and play one of the old ones on Xbox Live Arcade
Right.
or even PC or whatever it's on. Um,
Yeah, this is the era that began, oh, everything can be played on. This is the era that backwards compatibility was key to owning the newest console.
yeah,
And the
basically,
Switch 2 has proven that more than anything right now, but yeah.
man. And right, so we've done a lot of the main consoles,
Hmm.
but we're going to very quickly do some of the handheld era. So Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, PSP, and Vita. I'll try and quickly go through this. I'm going to
Sure.
say, I think you mentioned this as well, but you said it was rough. I'm going to say Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed on a 3DS. I thought was quite a good game. I know it's not as good as the main console versions, but for what it is, for a handheld game, I was like, this is actually surprisingly good. Obviously the visuals are not nowhere near as good as the consoles,
Right.
but for what it is, I had fun playing this on my 3DS and also on the Vita. They
I played a
basically
lot on Vita, actually. Yeah.
they basically recreated the full levels from what I could tell. Like I don't think there's anything
Hmm.
actually missing, and obviously just a visual downgrade. But yeah,
No,
Vita's
I'd say
brilliant. And
they are the same games, just graphically downgraded.
yeah,
So that's impressive.
yeah, that's what impressed me the most about it. It didn't feel like they do. Oh, let's chuck a version on the 3DS that's like completely different, but it's got the same name. It's actually this is the same game. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think good game. And you're
Which is
Scotty.
interesting
Oh,
because like Sonic Generations came out this era, but it was a totally different handheld game.
yes, it was. Yeah, yeah. And
Oh, mine for this was Sonic Battle. Yeah. Um, wow. At this, like, I mentioned that I went to the Neo Geo Pocket Color
mhm.
instead when everybody else was going to the Game Boy Advance. But then eventually I got a GBA and had this game, and good golly, I didn't know what I was getting into, but it's a isometric Smash Brothers basically, because it is a Sonic fighting game on your Game Boy Advance up, and you have four people fighting at once. A lot of times, it had a four-player multiplayer mode. I wish that I could have experienced that back then, but you every character had their moves and everything. You had like charge up things that you could do to just do better moves and whatever, special moves and whatever. But it had probably the most since Sonic Adventure, I would say the most in-depth storyline. Um, and you got to see like Tails' house and like where he lived and where characters lived and everything. What is happening in this video
Yeah,
game?
I brought up a video review which I thought was basically the
It's
game.
talking about every game but Sonic
Yeah,
Battle.
what is going
Um,
on? Sorry.
but it's really cool. I would no joke go back and try to play this game again and just see how it's held up because it is a
Okay.
very interesting, the most experimental I think since the Game Gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because it uses the Sonic Advance sprites, but it does have a story to it with Emerald or Gemerald. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played this, but it was it felt like you were playing the comic book or something because there was a
okay.
story involved. But
It,
with this
it,
weird
it,
fighting and stuff.
it looks good. I'd never even heard
Yeah.
of this. The
Oh, really?
GBA era, I was late to it and didn't really play
Yeah.
much. Yeah, I don't remember playing any Sonic game on the Game Boy Advance actually. Um,
Yeah, I kind of like the GBA era for me was an overall missed spot because I was out of games and more exploring like my musical stuff,
hmm,
learning how to play drums and whatever. So when was this? I was trying to find out when this was out. Oh yeah, 2004. So
oh,
I
okay,
was like getting ready to finish high school and stuff. So I was barely playing video games then. But
okay, yeah. Hmm, that looks
hmm.
good. It looks interesting. My bad, and this could possibly be my least favorite Sonic game of all time. It's Sonic Rush Adventure. So it's a sequel to
Oh
Sonic
wow.
Rush.
Heard the
Um,
soundtrack's amazing though.
I can't even remember the soundtrack. I just remember hating this game, and from memory, I was going somewhere and I was reviewing this, so I kind of took my DS with me, had this game. Don't think I had any other games with me, so I was like, I'm going to play this game, review it, and yeah, there's a whole thing about, so it's kind of like Sonic mixed with pirates in a way, and they kind of
Oh right.
the way they kind of advertised it was like you've got this like watercraft. It's almost like a Zelda Wind Waker style thing that you can go visit new islands and things like that. And I just remember
Hooray.
it's nothing like that really. There's these elements where you are sort of racing along in water bits which look okay visually, but they're not actually that fun.
Hmm.
And remember the storyline, just hating the storyline to it as well. And most of the levels, so there are some 2D levels and stuff. Oh, actually, is that a bit where it shows you go whom? Yes, oh god,
Is
yeah.
that a
You
what?
know, I sorry, my words not coming out properly. Basically, yeah, you do those water levels to get to the next island or whatever, and then you land on the island. Then there's lots of cutscenes as well. That was the thing that frustrated me.
Oh
These still cutscenes where you got like heavy
yeah.
text, characters doing vague animations,
Marin.
um,
We haven't seen her in anything since then.
and then there's the levels were sort of a mix between 3D elements and 2D elements, a bit like the original Sonic Rush. I remember it being
Yeah,
really
this is the
easy.
sequel. I don't know if you mentioned that or not.
Yeah, so yes, it's a sequel. Yeah, yeah. I remember it being very, very easy as well. Like from memory, I don't think you die that much. Like, yeah, I just did not
I don't
enjoy
know.
this game at
I
all.
think I own this one. 3DS was I have a weird relationship with 3DS because I was
Oh,
super into
no,
it at
this is
first, and then I
normal
got into the
DS.
Vita more.
So this is
Oh, is it? Okay, that
normal
explains
DS.
why I
Yeah,
barely touched it too.
yeah. It's not
Okay.
3DS, normal DS, and yeah, just not. I think some people love
I
it.
remember people
I'm
just
not a fan.
loving the soundtrack, loving this game. The first one, people
Mm.
dig it, but the second one more so because and it would use both screens for the gameplay overall. You would go use the top and the bottom screen of the 3DS of the DS.
Yeah, yeah, man.
So,
I,
but I mean, and it introduced Blaze. A lot of people like Blaze the cat.
yeah, I do not like Blaze the Cat. One of my least favorite characters.
Yeah, well, dogs are
I don't.
better. We all know that. What?
What? The internet would just. Oh no, the internet loves both, I guess.
I don't care what the internet thinks.
Oh man,
Uh,
you're not a TikTok person, are you? Loving the internet. Anyway, sorry. Um.
yeah,
So yeah,
that's
next.
Sonic Rush Adventure though. Mine
Mhm.
was Sonic Boom Shattered Crystal, which I
Ooh,
oh hey, there's my review.
yeah, you
This
downloaded
game
it again.
is you could I think my summary of it was you could have thrown any characters into this and it would have been the same game. Doesn't need to be Sonic
Is it-
characters. But it's just so yeah, D for suck it. Final score is a D. What's I mean, read my I can't read that summary. What did the final points there say?
Um, so the very just the okay,
Like the
wait.
bullet points at the end there, yeah.
Okay, bullet points are um. So actually, I think I need to read the last paragraph you wrote.
Oh, go for it.
When I started comparing Sonic Boom to such recent side scrollers as Rayman Origins, I realized just how little this feels like a Sonic game. I would go as far to say that it feels like this is a game. This game was not initially intended to be a Sonic game. You could take away Sonic's friends, map the abilities to one button to cycle through, and have the next Dynamite Heady for all it matters. In other words,
Oh,
this is the best Dynamite Heady game I've ever played in years. And then
there we go.
the
Bow, bow,
bullet points
bow.
are this game is better than Sonic Lost World on 3DS, but worse than every other Sonic side scrolling game. if you get addicted, you may want to try Super Metroid.
Mm.
A better name for this game would have been anything without Sonic in the title. Buy, rent, avoid like the plague. Sonic Boom was a chance to see a different side of Sonic, but it goes so far from the expected formula that you'd wonder why Sonic would even be associated with the exploration and forced collectathon.
Oops,
So you didn't
that
like
was
it?
harsh. Not at all. It
Yeah.
was just, yeah, it was weird. And again, there were actually, like, to echo what you said about Rush Adventure, there was a lot of cutscenes too. I remember
Mm,
it just didn't need, they had the cartoon out, they had this whole Sonic Boom era planned and everything, and it just wasn't. I don't know. I
yeah.
think that was one that, I might have got a review copy of that. I'm not 100% certain. I'm not sure, but yeah, not good.
Yeah. And then,
We don't need to say much more than that, really.
yeah, fair enough. And then the other, I'm going to throw this out there, Sonic
Do it.
Chronicles for the DS. And I'm going to bring this up for a few reasons.
Right.
One, the start of this game was actually, it's a very different Sonic game. It's like a top-down RPG style Sonic game made by BioWare, who are well known for their RPGs, and it has beautiful graphics for what it is, like kind of hand drawn style, artistic overworlds and stuff. Uh, from memory, the storyline was vaguely interesting. The thing about it being an RPG, it was a battle. There's a battle elements to it, so you had like turn based battle, which, as we all know, I don't really like turn based battle, but they kind of threw in a bit more some elements where you had to actually control your character a little bit more. The thing about this is the start of the game was actually quite entertaining. It's just interesting, a bit different, and then progressively throughout the game, it got worse and worse and worse.
Mm.
And I think that
Crazy beans.
my understanding of it is this is around the time that BioWare was bought out by EA. So this was the
Oh,
last
huh.
non EA owned BioWare game that was made. That's
Wow.
from what I can remember, what I know.
Makers of
Um,
Mass Effect, people.
yes, the makers of Mass Effect. So when they first made Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2, they were their own game studio basically. Then EA bought them out, and that's when they made Mass Effect 3 and ruined the franchise because
Hmm.
EA made them change things. But yeah, they were making the Sonic game, and yeah, there was some good ideas behind it. Not brilliant. I remember the combat getting worse and worse later on in the game because they made the battles go on for far too long and too often as well.
They were like rhythm games too,
Yeah,
arguably.
yeah,
Like
kind of.
you had to be like rhythmic when you battled, if that makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played. But the other thing that I'm going to bring up about this is I've got a little bit of love for this because back in the day, this is at the Wikipedia article. Basically, Sega announced in 2008 they wanted to give the Sega community an opportunity to vote on the name for hostile alien races in the game, and
Hmm.
basically several Sega fan sites, including Sega Nerds, which is one of the sites that I was working on. We basically were given an image of the character, like a very basic, is almost like a silhouette outline of it, showing roughly what the character might look like a little bit. And then we were told, create like come up with a name for it, and then try and get your fans, your community, to vote for your name that you've chosen. So the Sega Nerds team, we went away, and they had this like kind of actually have we got a picture? I don't think we actually got a picture of the actual. I should have brought this up earlier. Maybe I can find an image of them.
What are you looking for?
The Zoa, the actual. No.
I mean, I'm holding the strategy guide up now. There's the Zoa.
Oh, wait. No, that's not the Zoa.
That's not the Zoa? Is
No.
this the Zoa?
Seconds. No. Oh, a second.
I guess I don't know what a Zoa is. If you don't know a Zoa from a hole in the ground, then what are you doing?
Okay. Right. Sorry. Here we go.
Oh, my.
So this is the Zoa. This is basically what we were shown. The picture we were shown.
Oh,
From memory, it was
you turned to
more.
a page with them. Weird.
From memory, when I was actually shown this, because I was actually asked to come up to Sega Europe's office, and I had to sign an
What the heck?
NDA about this. The
Oh,
character was more black, like sort of silhouette style, like more less detail, but it showed some of the
okay.
electric elements around it. And so
Hmm.
basically, we initially started coming up with like electro people or something. Like we're trying to come up with elemental style names for things, and
Mhm.
kind of frustrating to me in a way because, as you know, Panzer Dragoon Saga is my favorite game of all time. One of the other
Oh,
people on our team, I think it was a guy called James at the time, said, "I think we should go with like more of a Sega focused thing. What about something like the Zoa?" And Zoa
mhm.
is the name of the town and also a forest in Panzer Dragoon
Right.
Saga. Um, and basically, as soon as he said that, I was instantly like, yes, I love it. I think the rest of the team kind of got on board as well. So we were like, let's call it the Zoa. And I can't remember what the other websites, because I think there was Sonic Stadium, Sonic Rex, and maybe another a Sega focused website who
I'm
were
sure. Yeah.
involved in this. But basically, yeah, we put our name out to Sega. We said this is what we want to call them. They basically had a poll that they put up on their website, on their blog or something, and then we kind of had to do our own mini campaigns to get people motivated to want to do this. But yeah, we ended up winning. So the name of the species was called the Zoa.
Yeah.
Um, they're meant to be sort of like, I guess, a hostile alien race that you kind of come across, but they weren't like the main bad guys or anything in the game. They were more of a side alien race. So
Hmm.
yeah, even though we kind of semi made Sega history, or Sonic history in a way, it wasn't. Um, it wasn't like a main bad guy we got to name, but it was still pretty cool. And
Right.
Sega also said, "Hey, we can add your names to the credits." We're like, "Yeah." So we gave the names to the team. I think there's like 5 people in the team. Like, "Oh no, we're not going to put your names in the credits. We're just going to put Sega Nerds in the credits." And there is actually
Right.
there was a picture online. The actual article has gone away from Sega Nerds now, but I did find it originally a few years ago, but I can't seem to find it anymore. But I had a screenshot of the end credits team saying, "And thanks to Sega Nerds" or something. And yeah, um,
Nice.
but yeah, but Sonic Chronicles is an interesting game to look at. It's by no means a great Sonic game, but it's so different. It's worth having a look, basically. Hmm.
Yeah. No one was expecting a Sonic the Hedgehog RPG. I have the
Yeah.
strategy guide I'm holding up, but I don't. I wonder if you guys are mentioned in it. If Sega Nerds is actually mentioned in the guide or
Ooh.
not. I don't know.
Have
I haven't
a. Are
haven't
you not,
finished it.
oh, you haven't finished
Haven't
it yet?
read the whole thing. No.
Oh, I just saw the
But
Zoa actually appear on one of the pages, actually. Just then, a big
yeah, it's
Zoa.
they're in here later on. I had it up before, but now it's gone. Um, the enemy index or something. Oh my god. Where? Oh, there. Go. Just turn one page back. Oh my god. Sorry, everybody. How do I do anything? There's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them. I think there was another one I saw pop up as well. But anyway,
Probably.
yeah. Anyway, have a look through. Maybe you'll learn about.
Yeah, I wonder if you guys
Yeah,
are in there.
yeah. Kind of cool if you were. Anyway, your other. Let's go for your other one.
Sonic Rivals. It's a 2D racing game on the PSP. There were two of them. I probably should just buy these, but they're not too bad. But it's nothing crazy explorative or anything.
Hmm.
They didn't risk anything with this. It's a 2D racing game with Sonic characters in it. So
Yeah,
if you've got a PSP, grab them. I guess while they're cheaper. What are they even going for right now? I barely touched them, and again, I should just own them. Uh, they're starting to hop. Oh, there was a double pack, or there was a two for release, but they go for like 15, $30. But yeah, pretty straightforward 2D racing games.
yeah. I played them. I thought they were fine. Yeah, nothing crazy or amazing, but yeah, fun enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Grab them.
good stuff.
And then hopping
Ooh,
into what's next.
what is next? Can't even remember.
What Sega's known for initially, the arcade.
Ooh, the arcade. So yeah, my good pick for this is Sonic Dash Extreme. So if Sonic Dash was a mobile game, but they actually made an arcade version, which is like a massive, almost like a
This
massive
is
mobile
all over
screen
arcades
with
now. Yeah.
yeah, with like a massive D-pad in front of it. And I prefer this to the mobile version of the game. It's just a fun game. And if
Oh,
you
wow.
go to, I've just forgotten the name of the studio. It's a Sega-owned studio that actually made this, and they're based in Nemerton Spa in the UK. And I went to actually their
Oh,
offices. Like,
Sammy? I don't know.
oh my god, I've forgotten what they're called. I'm sorry, I have to quickly Google this now.
Hard
Uh,
Light? I don't know.
Hardlight Studio, that's it. Hardlight Studio. I went to
Oh,
Hardlight Studio. They're based in Leamington Spa in the UK, and or
nice.
Royal Leamington Spa is the official name. But yeah, they actually had
Oh,
one of these machines in their office, and I got to play on it for a bit when I was there. I was like, this is really
that's
fun.
cool.
Yeah, and yeah, that's yeah, not much more to say about it. It's basically like the mobile game, but
No, it's
an
a
arcade
temple
version.
run, you know,
Yeah, Temple Run kind of. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan
right?
of these style games, but this was actually pretty fun to play in the arcade. And Scotty, what's your
That's
pick?
cool. Very arcadey. Sonic the Fighters.
Oh yeah.
So they took the Fighters, Fighting Vipers engine and made a Sonic fighting game. Friend of the podcast, friends in real life, whatever, TJ Kitsune has one of these arcade cabinets in his house, and I've played it. I've also played it at Galloping Ghost in Chicago, but yeah, it's just so wonky and cartoony. Like you hit each other, and it's what would be called an arena fighter, so like Virtua Fighter, Fighting Vipers,
Hmm.
Tekken, um, and the characters kind of like stretch out and like get wonky when you hit them and bop them and stuff. And your health meters are a set of rings, so every time you get hit, rings fly out.
Oh, okay.
Uh, but this introduced there were 8 Chaos Emeralds in it, I think, and this also introduced oh my god, I can't remember her name now. Can't not Candy. Honey, the cat, I think, is the other one. Um, and unless they've taken it down, this is still playable on Xbox 360 Live and PlayStation Network. It was in the
Ooh,
PS3. It was re-released in the PS3 360 era, but um, a couple of the actual arcade units were put out in the US. There's not a lot of them. So if you can find it, sit down and play a few rounds. I definitely recommend it.
yeah,
It's they actually have one at that arcade I mentioned earlier that has Periscope. So
awesome.
yeah, cool stuff.
Cool. Um, and so for the bad, the actual Sonic games in the arcade, I have actually played like a couple. Like I haven't really played that many, so I don't really have a bag. But you've got a bad one, so
It was a joke, but I just
oh,
said the
okay,
UFO catchers because they're rigged, baby. Don't bother with them. These are the
fair enough.
claw machines where you try to grab stuff, and Sega's made thousands of them. I don't know. Did you have a picture or video or something?
There's a picture here which I was trying to grab, which is there we go. Whee!
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, grab that
Don't
stuff.
play it.
I don't know. Sega doesn't make bad arcade games. What are we talking about?
And
What's the other?
my other
There
for
you
this
go.
one is Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, and it's Sega
Get that
Sonic
trackball,
together.
baby.
And it was yeah, I've only seen this once in the wild, which is at Sega World in London back in like the 90s when that existed. And
Sure.
it's a 3-player Sonic the Hedgehog game, which is isometric, and you use a trackball basically, like a big giant mouse ball type thing, to move the
Hmm.
characters. And it's yeah, so it's not like a normal Sonic the Hedgehog game. It was really fun though when I played it. Like this was back when I was like 9 or 10 or something. It's a bit
Sure.
quirky, a bit wacky. I think I only played it 2-player, maybe even 1-player, but yeah, it was fun enough. And then I think for me, yeah, it's showing like a lot of the levels I remember playing, you're running away from things a lot. Like this has got like lava chasing you or something. Uh, and yeah, the animation was really good though as well. Like you see the characters, there's
Hmm.
lots of animation going on involved in this game. Um,
Yeah, kind of slapstick kind of stuff.
yeah. Um,
But who are the characters?
so you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously, Mighty the Armadillo, and I've actually forgotten the name of the Ray the Squirrel,
Ray
is
the
it?
Flying Squirrel.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So Mighty went on to be a one of the Chaotix.
Mm.
Ray is one of the Chaotix in the comics, sort of now. I don't know. And but Mighty and Ray came back for Sonic Mania Plus.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
um, yeah, it's a fun game. I actually kind of want to play it
it's
now.
it's pretty cool. I know that of all those like Neo Geo and little arcade, when the mini consoles were all the rage, one of the Neo Geo cabinets or something or an SNK cabinet came out with a small trackball, and you know that people are using that to play this on their computers.
Yeah.
But I actually played this in Galloping Ghost, also an amazing arcade in Chicago. Rachel and I played it, maybe with TJ, I forget, but they have a setup that has 3 trackballs, like a modified, specialized thing, but you can play 3 players and stuff. So it's pretty neat.
Mm, cool.
So that's a time capsule of the arcade, I think,
Yeah.
that one game. And I didn't even have any other. I mean, there's so many other Sonic related things. I mentioned the other ones, the like popcorn, Make a Machine, and Waku Waku Patrol Car, whatever, where Sonic's a police officer for some reason. So,
Yeah.
with that in mind, we could hop right over to the mobile area.
Yeah.
And Sonic's had plenty of mobile things. I legitimately enjoyed Sonic Dash, put on I think iOS. I'm not sure, Android, Windows, whatever, but
Hmm.
um, it was really good at first. I think it's still going somehow, unless it's called something else now. But I reviewed it forever ago on Sega Addicts, and I think I was one of the first reviews, maybe,
Ooh.
uh,
Nice.
back when it cost money before it was free to play. But I enjoyed it. It's a temple run game. It's just like the one that you mentioned, Sonic Dash Extreme. This is what that came from.
Yeah.
Um, but it was fun. I played a lot of it, and it didn't feel like I had to play it for a review. Like I was legitimately enjoying it. There's my final rating: B as in boy howdy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you've done it. You've given it a much more glowing review than the other thing that we looked at.
Oh,
Um,
right.
yeah, it's still going. It's by the looks of it. There's Sonic Dash Speedrunner. There's Sonic
Okay.
Dash 2, which is Sonic Boom. Basically, they've got the Sonic Boom style characters, and there's I think Sonic Forces, which I think is basically the same thing, but they've
Hmm.
yeah, it's anyway. Yeah, I think it's a good game. I did play it. I'm not a huge fan of mobile games in general, but this was fun to play. Just waste some time with it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
wasn't too bad.
do
And then what was
you?
your? Oh, I
Oh, I
had all
didn't have
these
any.
here. Bad
Oh,
Engage. There was a game they put out on the N-Gage. Anybody remember that? That's fine if you don't.
yeah, vaguely.
Um, I think it's literally called Sonic N. If you want to find anything on that. But it was another just like it was a port of Sonic Advance for the Nokia N-Gage. The N-Gage was a cell phone that tried to be a handheld game system
Yeah.
and failed so hard, but now people like unironically want to find them and stuff. There was a virtual cop game that never came out on it, but it was in development. They have like cartridges actually were released for it. Yeah. They there is an exclusive Elder Scrolls game on it too.
Yes,
But
there was. Yeah.
yeah, Engage
Yeah.
everybody.
Chris Powell,
Of
we used to work with on like Megavisions and Sega Nerds, yeah, he actually owns one and he loves the
course
Engage.
he does.
Yeah. um,
Didn't he like use that when he was surveying or something? He was in boot camp or whatever, and he played the hell out of it on something
yeah,
on there. I forget.
he loved it. I
Yeah,
don't know if he actually had the Sonic game, but he loved the Engage in general, and he used to rave about
mhm.
it. And I never got one, but kind of, kind of get the
I
appeal.
remember playing them in like a Babbage's or a GameStop or something. I
Oh
remember
yeah,
seeing them and just thinking like, what is this? So, because you would turn it sideways, but the biggest, dumbest thing was that to change your games, you had to like pull off the back, take the battery out, and
Ooh,
then take the game out
okay,
and do all that to play something else. So, um, but in terms of other, Sonic has done a lot in Japan through the Sonic Cafe. Are you showing that list right
I
now?
am now.
There
Yeah,
is, good gosh. If you just it actually hit control F and type Sonic. So besides cafe, obviously, but there's like how many results?
there's 159. There's a few that at the start though, so
There you
there's a
go.
few at the end, but yeah, there's a lot. Let's say about
Yeah, there's
100.
like
Let's
Sonic
say
Golf.
150 or something.
Hmm. So there's,
Hmm.
Sonic Golf, tennis, billiards, whatever, how thousands, many puzzles, just everything on a Japanese flip phone and whatever
Hmm.
else.
Not realize there are that many Sonic racing cars. Whoa. Okay.
Plenty on your get them on your Samsung.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
So maybe a bit of a missed spot for us. That's okay. We were playing the real games.
Man, so
So that's the
oh
official releases, right?
yeah. And I wanted to quickly touch upon okay, so there's lots of fan games out there, but there's one fan game in particular I personally wanted to touch upon,
Plenty.
and that is Sonic Utopia, which was originally God, actually originally came out a while ago. So it I remember when it first came out. It's been a few years, basically. What it
Oh,
is,
this one. Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah, this was created by a developer called The Great Lang or Lang. I don't know how to pronounce the last name of that. It's more of a tech demo slash demo of a game that's what a 3D Sonic could be, basically. And
Mm-hmm.
Sonic's sort of more the classic style Sonic. You don't have the lock on attack in this from memory.
Hmm.
But the way Sonic controls is really good. Like it's more along the lines of the original Sonic because you actually do have to
Oh,
build
you
up
played this
speed.
one?
Yeah, I played it. It's only one level. The level's not massive, but it feels really good. But like you got this at the very start of the level, you got this quite narrow bit that you run along for like 10 seconds, and then you go into this massive open area, and the world
Mm-hmm.
looks like Green Hill Zone. But what a 3D Green Hill Zone should look like, and it's more like Mario 64 style levels where it's or Banjo Kazooie. It's like an open area world basically where you get to run around, or even Sonic Frontiers, like we were touching upon earlier, but
Right.
like a smaller version of Sonic Frontiers, I guess. But yeah, the world is looks. If you look around, it's
Good
almost like a massive
golly.
playground, but it's all Green Hill
Yeah.
themed, zone themed. Um,
This is in 1996. This is what Sonic World and Sonic Jam looked like to us,
yeah,
you know?
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I love it. It was built from scratch. Yeah, and apparently the original when the developer made it, he wanted to try and make what 2D Sonic would be like in 3D. That's like what he was going for. Um, and unfortunately, he ever made this demo, which was one level. As I say, it's not hugely long, but it's kind of fun to explore. There's lots of little hidden areas you can go to. Um, like you can go underwater behind waterfalls and things. There's like hidden caves and areas and things like that. And it's almost like what could have been effectively.
Right.
But weirdly, there've been community ports of this. So some people
Hmm.
actually ported it to the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation Vita, like
Oh, what?
unofficially, if that makes sense, because it's not an official game, and they did it unofficially from the guy who originally developed it. But once you pick up speed, you can see Sonic goes really fast, and it's really fun. But the levels are so wide, and well, this one level is so wide and open, you can easily control him. Um, and they've even got the little things like the dancing flowers there. And stuff. I just think it looks beautiful as well. This is
Yeah, no,
what
it
a
does.
3D Sonic game should be. I
Yep.
wonder if I skip forward a bit, was there any more to like showing it? Like, and this, even though this is just one level, they're kind of like different areas. There's like a watery bit here and stuff like that. I just think it looks so cool.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah. Sadly, this is all it is. I wonder if it's going to show the end of the level. I'm showing some of the loops and stuff there. Um, Sorry, I was going to skip forward to. I don't think it's going to show the end of the level. But, oh wait, does it? Yes. Okay. So yeah, basically the end of the
Nice.
level goes to yeah, it's like a big open area, and it's the traditional. What do you call it? Like it's a signpost that you run through and it spins around, and
Yeah,
that's the end
signpost.
of the
Yeah.
level. But sadly, yeah, this was so yeah. I can't remember when this was first made, but it was quite a few years ago. Like I'm going to guess like it's 6, 7 years ago. It was originally came out.
I
Oh, whoops.
think, whoops. Sorry, I had some sound also on my side. I was trying to find one that I thought of, but I can't remember the name of it now. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Um, I mean, one that's very popular is Sonic Robo Blast because somebody took the Doom engine and made a Sonic game
Yeah,
in 3D.
yeah, and that I have played that and I do get it's kind of fun and stuff, but I guess the Doom engine's not really designed for that, is it? Um,
No, not at
yeah,
all.
but that's still fun, I guess. But yeah, Sonic Utopia is what I want. I wish the developer or someone, Sega even, made a 3D Sonic game like this. But yeah,
Yeah,
um, but yeah,
if only.
there's lots of Sonic fan games out there. There's quite a few. There's some bad ones, obviously, but there's actually quite a lot of good ones. There's quite a few I've played that I actually really enjoyed. But yeah, and
Can't remember a more recent one, but it looked really cool, and I just can't remember the name of it now. But he had like a hub area that was his hangout, basically from Sonic the OVA. But I'll remember it right after this probably. But there's so many strong Sonic fan games out there to the point that there is a full um, expo for them, the Sage Expo, Sonic. Oh crap!
yeah,
I told you I sent it to you, and I can't remember the acronym now. Sonic Amateur Game Expo. Is that it?
Something like that. I was sorry, I was bringing up. Oh, this is
Yeah, there
stage
it is.
2020. Is that 2025?
Hmm. They don't have the stuff up yet for 2025s, but yeah, that is it.
Okay.
That is the site
Okay,
though
one
that you're on
second.
there.
I'll bring on the screen. So yeah, this is stage 2024. Um,
But yeah, there's so many submissions, so many games. This is kind of where Sonic Mania came from, essentially. But um,
I
tons
will
of stuff.
I I will
What's
say
the
this
one?
is a lot. This website's a
The
lot more
electric
advanced than it used
jester.
to be.
Oh, okay.
um, oh, Project Extreme. That's one of the Sonic Extreme fan games I've played. That
Hmm.
like they recreated. Um, yeah. Oh, it's good
Plenty of good
stuff.
ones out there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there's some good. And Sonic Robo Blast has gone into a really good kart racing game.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, Sonic Overclocked. I forget. There's a bunch. I've barely touched any of them, unfortunately, but there are some very good ones out there. The fan base is nuts and awesome, and extremely talented.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's one way to put it. Extremely talented is definitely correct. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Ooh, so
Hmm.
that's it, I guess. So yeah, let's
That's
wrap.
everything Sonic. There's nothing else
Oh,
to say about
yeah.
Sonic. We've done it.
Sonic good, Mario bad. There you go. That's the FC.
Right. Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah. So Scotty, okay, that's all right, okay. Let's wrap this up, please.
Yeah.
So for the audience, sorry, actually, just like you like you to get involved in the party. Think back to your like first Sonic memories or whatever. What games did you think were good and bad or other, as we've called them, like games you might
Hmm.
think are worth looking at that may not be the best or whatever. But yeah, tell us what should be on the list. Anything that we've overlooked there. Yeah, please let us know in the comments and stuff. We might read out on the next episode. If, maybe not. I don't know. um, yeah. So Scotty, happy birthday, Sonic. Sorry, that's why we're here. Just to let you know, it's now 1 a.m. over here in the UK, and it's very hot in this room, so I'm losing my
uh,
mind. But yeah, happy birthday, Sonic. You've done us proud for all these years with Sonic Schoolhouse. You've taught us well.
yeah, you've done it. You've been our teacher for so long. We love Sonic. It's half the reason we're here.
Mhm.
I've got this thing on my head that's gonna probably leave a mark now, but wow, that is the good, the bad, and the other. And who knows what we'll talk about next week? But please let us know what you think.
Yeah. And any plugs and shout outs? Anything to wind up the show
Oh,
with from your
sure.
side?
Uh, from what I understand, little birdie told me we're going to be hanging
Ooh,
out in the Sega Lounge pretty soon with
yes.
KC over on Radio Sega. Very awesome folks over there. They asked us to be on, and we're going to be recording that soon. Not sure when that's going to be released, but Graham's been on there before. I've been on
Hmm.
there before. Casey is awesome.
Yeah.
His anxiety-inducing quiz is always a good time, and it should be pretty fun. So look out for that, and that's all I'll plug for now.
Yeah. That's yeah. So yeah, yeah. I'll just do shout out to Radio Sega and Sega Lounge and KC as well because keep up the amazing work you guys are doing, and yeah, we look forward to being on the show with you guys. So we're recording that soon, as Scotty says. When it comes out, we don't know. We'll let you know. We'll let everyone know. Yeah. With that, Scotty, anything else? All good?
I got nothing.
Excellent. Fantastic. Happy birthday, Sonic. Hope
Happy
you enjoy the
birthday,
show.
Sonic.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And catch you later.
See ya. Eat chocolate.
And he's back.
I'm
There we
back
go.
already.
There we
I'm
go.
back already.